My mic was almost off for a good portion of the stream again. Just still getting everything set up. And we're gonna do verse 21. Okay. Do I have anything else I need to grab? I think I'm good. I've got everything set up for what I want to do, and then I gotta make sure that doesn't... Oh, wait. Hold on. Early streamer. Not late streamer, early streamer. Oh, lovely little puppy. Please don't lift your head so often. The audio gets cut off in the beginning for the music. I honestly don't care. I'm vibing. We won't have music during the Bible reading portion, but since I'm really early, we're just hanging out a bit. Okay, I've totally messed up with the stream marker. I don't know what that's doing. Oh, yeah, I gotta fix that. My bad. We are not doing Fantasy Life today. Yeah, we're not doing Fantasy Life today. I know I wanted to do that earlier this week, but I just... Oh, the story's killing me, man. The story's killing me. It's killing all interest I have in the game. Let's see. I think we're all good. I just want to charge my phone. Oh, that's right. Sermon on the Mount wasn't... There we go. Are we finally ready to go? I think so. And no, I didn't hit streaming on accident. I'm actually streaming for real. Just wanted to try a slow start for today, since it's not quite noon. Okay. As much as I hate to tune out one of my favorite songs ever. I love Goodbye Yesterday. It's fantastic. We still need that tab with the music on it. But I listen to a lot of Elevation Worship, I think it is their channel name. Elevation Rhythm. Love it. Love that band. Okay. So, last stream on Tuesday, I had mentioned that we are going to be bouncing a bit back and forth, that we were coming back to Matthew chapter 5, and, that it wasn't because I was intending to skip it, it was just because I wanted to get to, prayer, the Lord's Prayer that day. Something that's one of my favorite passages I wanted to get to, so got a little excited, got a little ahead of myself. And every time I get started with the streaming, my dog's like, she's streaming again. I don't like it. I'm going to get up and disturb everything as soon as I hear her start talking. So if we have a lot of puppy disturbances today, I apologize. But we're going to do the reading first before we get into the video, the supplementary video that I have. And then today is going to be a bit different than what I normally do, but the Bible study is going to be the same, so let's focus on that. If you have your Bibles, we're going to be in Matthew chapter 5, verses 21 through 48. We're going to be finishing off that part of the Sermon on the Mount. You want to come back? No? Do you just want someone to blanket? I can't tell what you want. I can't tell what you want. You're so adorable, though. Do you want to be with me? Do you want to hang out with me? I'm going to be reading. No? Okay. You can be there then. Okay. I have to lift my Bible up so I'm not, like, looking down into the depths. Make sure that I scroll this along. I'll scroll it after this passage, yeah. Okay. So chapter 5, verse 21 says, "You have heard that it was said to our ancestors, 'Do not murder,' and whoever murders will be subject to judgment. But I tell you, everyone who is angry with his brother will be subject to judgment. And whoever says to his brother, 'Fool,' will be subject to the Sanhedrin. But whoever says, 'You moron,' will be subject to hellfire. So if you were offering your gift on the altar, and there you remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift there in front of the altar. First go and be reconciled with your brother, and then come and offer your gift. Reach a settlement quickly with your adversary while you're on the way with him, or your adversary will hand you over to the judge to the officer, and you will be thrown into prison. I assure you, you will never get a penny, or you will never get out of there until you've paid the last penny." This is why I love my bookmark, because I can just feed line by line to myself, so I don't, like, dyslexia jump a line. But that passage was for murder. Then the next one's about adultery. You have heard that it was said, 'Do not commit adultery.' But I tell you, everyone who looks at a woman to lust for her has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, gouge it out and throw it away. For it is better that you lose one of the parts of your own body than for your whole body to be thrown into hell. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. For it is better that you lose one of the parts of your body than for your whole body to go into hell." That was passage on adultery. So we're scooting down to divorce. Oh yeah, just a passage is called divorce. For mine is called Divorce Practices Censored. "It was also said, 'Whoever divorces his wife must give her a written notice of divorce.' But I tell you, everyone who divorces his wife, except in a case of sexual immorality, causes her to commit adultery. And whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery." Then we have oaths. "Again, you have heard that it was said to our ancestors, 'You must not break your oath, but you must keep your oaths to the Lord.' But I tell you, don't take an oath at all, either by heaven, because it is God's throne, or by the earth, because it is his footstool, or by Jerusalem, because it is the city of the great King. Neither should you swear by your head, because you cannot make a single hair white or black. But let your word be yes, or Let your word yes be yes, and your no be no. Anything more than this is from the evil one. No, not a tiny little tear. My Bible's getting mileage on it, okay? I have to be careful, though. I might get a piece of tape to fix that little page. Poor thing. Okay, that was oaths. Then we're on to eye for an eye. You have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I tell you, don't resist an evildoer. On the contrary, if anyone slaps you on your right cheek, turn the other to him also. As for the one who wants to sue you and take away your shirt, let him have your coat as well. And if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go with him 2. Give to the one who asks you, and don't turn away from the one who wants to borrow from you. And then last but not least, we have love your enemies. You have heard that it was said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, so that you may be sons of your Father in heaven. For he causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. For if you love those who love you, what reward will you have? Don't even the tax collectors do the same? And if you greet only your brothers, what are you doing out of the ordinary? Don't even the Gentiles do the same? Be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect. And that is the end of that's the complete of chapter 5. So with all these passages, we're going to learn a little bit more in depth about them. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, there. Starting with that. A better way than I can talk about it, for sure.
World where everyone treats each other with dignity and
Oop.
Imagine a world where everyone treats each other with dignity and respect.
Oh,
And when problems do arise,
I'm so sorry to pause the video. I'm going to restart it one more time because my dog has decided finally that he wants to return to the puppy nest. Return to the puppy nest. I make like a little blanket nest on my lap for him during the stream. So he's got like this little comfy, super comfy, like fuzzy blanket that he loves. I call it the puppy nest. So he has returned. He's returned to roost. Okay. Let's get that there. That wasn't anything important. Don't worry about it. Okay.
imagine a world where everyone treats each other with dignity and respect. And when problems do arise, everyone works hard to do right by each other.
In the Bible, this way of treating each other is called doing righteousness.
And it sounds great, but how are we supposed to know how to always do right by others?
Well, Jesus, like any Israelite teacher, believed that you can learn righteousness through studying God's wisdom that's found in the ancient scriptures, the Torah and the prophets.
So studying things like the laws that God gave ancient Israel.
Exactly. Jesus believed that God's wisdom can be found within those laws if we meditate on them.
Ancient laws can teach us how to do right by each other today?
Yes. And let's watch how Jesus does it here in the Sermon on the Mount. So Jesus will first quote a command from the Torah, and then second, he'll reveal God's wisdom underneath the command.
Okay, let's jump in.
All right, he starts with a pretty intense topic, murder.
Jesus begins, "You have heard that it was said to the ancients, 'You shall not commit murder.'
He's quoting from the Ten Commandments here.
Cranky old
And I
lady.
say to you that everyone who is angry with his brother will be guilty in the court. And whoever says to his brother, 'You good for nothing,' will be guilty in the high court." Wait, so Jesus is equating anger and name-calling with murder?
He got your attention, didn't he?
Yeah, but obviously murdering someone is worse than just getting mad and calling someone a name.
Sure, but that's not his point. Jesus is provocatively showing how murder, anger, and verbal abuse, they're all surface manifestations of something that is way deeper.
Which is...
Yeah.
How much you value or don't value someone's existence.
I see. Like murder is the ultimate way of saying that someone's life doesn't matter.
And so is losing your temper or belittling someone. These all reveal an attitude of superiority and contempt for the life of another person.
That's a fantastic point that I have to get, I guess, refreshed on constantly, is just how much you value somebody's life will determine whether or not you're going to get upset and curse at them. I never really put that two and two together, I guess. Like, I love my husband more than anything, and, well, obviously not more than God, but I love my husband very, very much. And I value his life, and I value him. Maybe I have said something hurtful to him in the past, but if I think about it now, if I was to go up to him today and then start cursing at him or whatever, I can't even imagine it because I love him. But when you love and value somebody's life, you just don't fall into that. But if there's somebody that, obviously it's easier for me to dislike somebody I guess I don't know. It's something that God values everyone, and we're taught to value everyone as well. But that's a good point. I never really thought about that.
Wreaks havoc in our relationships and communities, and it's worthy of serious consequences.
I usually thought the thing is just like, just don't do it. I know we shouldn't do it because, it's bad, and I know why it's bad, but you don't really... You learn through experience too why things are bad and why it's not just as simple as do it because I told you to.
The wisdom of this command is about way more than just murder. For Jesus, this command is about treating everyone as valuable.
Right. Jesus wants us to see that any time we demean or devalue other people, it's a failure to do right by them. His definition of righteousness means treating everybody as a fellow image of God.
Okay, the next case study is about adultery. You have heard that it was said, "You shall not commit adultery."
Again, quoting from the Ten Commandments here.
And I say to you that everyone who keeps on staring at a woman in order to stir up sexual desire, he's already committed adultery with her in his heart. Okay, so Jesus isn't talking about merely finding someone attractive.
No, he's talking about the long, creepy stare, objectifying someone, looking at them
the little evil eye.
Your own pleasure. And when we do this, we are stripping a fellow human of their God-given dignity, even if we keep our hands to ourselves.
In fact, this is so serious to Jesus, he goes on to say, if your eye or hand is causing you to sin, cut them off. I mean, really?
Jesus was the master of hyperbole. I mean, he just said the real problem is in our hearts, not our eyes or our hands. But he's trying to make clear that the stakes are really high.
Yeah, well, he succeeded.
Yeah.
It's important to remember that Jesus was raised on the Hebrew scriptures, which portray sex as a beautiful thing. But if sexual desire is driving us to dishonor the image of God in others or in ourselves, if it's causing breakdown in our relationships, it's actually ruining us, and we need to do whatever it takes to deal with it.
Well, this doesn't get any easier because the third case study is on divorce. Jesus says, it has also been said, whoever sends away his wife, he must give her a certificate of divorce. What's going on here? Sending away his wife?
Yeah, in Jesus' day, only Israelite men could initiate a divorce, and that imbalance led to all kinds of problems.
But divorce was allowed.
It was, though only one law in the entire Torah addressed the issue, and Jesus just quoted from it. The law said that if a man initiates a divorce, he has to do it in the proper way and for a legitimate reason.
Okay, so what's a legitimate reason?
Well, this was actually a hot debate in Jesus' day. According to some Torah scholars, this law allowed for divorce only in the case of adultery. But other Torah scholars argued that the law allowed a man to divorce his wife for any reason, even dissatisfaction with the marriage.
Okay, so here Jesus enters into that very specific debate.
Right. Now, if a man could threaten divorce for any reason, that would make it easier for him to abuse his wife. And so to protect women, Jesus sided with those who limited legitimate divorce to cases of adultery. And he makes this clear when he says,
And I say to you, any man who sends away his wife, except for a case of sexual immorality, makes her the victim of adultery. Okay, and what does that mean? Makes her the victim of adultery.
Yeah, Jesus is being provocative again, saying that if a man divorces his wife for an illegitimate
And why was she a scarf?
because he's tired of the marriage or just wants to be with somebody else, his marriage covenant is actually still intact.
And that means that any new marriage is an act of
Aw.
adultery.
Right. But notice, Jesus explicitly assigns blame to the men in his culture because it's their selfish choices that are forcing women into these vulnerable situations.
And you can see how this could play out in a society where only men can initiate divorce for any reason. This could normalize the oppression of women on a large scale.
Totally. In his cultural context, Jesus' statement protects and elevates the dignity of women as images of God.
But what about other ways a marriage covenant can be violated, like neglect or abuse? Would those be legitimate reasons for divorce?
Yeah, those are really important questions that Jesus doesn't address. His focus here is on how this one debated divorce law in the Torah was being twisted and misused by the men of his day.
How they were treating women like objects that could be discarded, like it's no big deal.
But for Jesus, the marriage covenant is designed to create interdependence and
Yeah.
mutual respect so that the two can reflect God's image together as one.
Yeah.
And that leads us back to the main point of all three case studies. Jesus is showing how God's wisdom in these commands, it's aimed at our core desires and motivations that affect how we treat people.
Someone could strictly follow these rules about murder, adultery, and divorce, but still dishonor and objectify people in other ways.
Right. For Jesus, real righteousness and wisdom means treating every human like they have ultimate value.
Yeah, if we valued others that much, imagine what kind of world we could create.
And that's exactly what Jesus had in mind. His announcement about the arrival of God's heavenly kingdom here on earth, it was meant to reshape our imaginations. God's wisdom invites us to honor the image of God in every person that we meet.
Yeah.
I love these videos so much. I'm sorry if I'm mostly just like a starer when it comes to these videos, but like I think it's really important to listen before speaking, especially when a lot of these things apply to my own personal experiences, like of divorce, for example, and like marital issues. Not necessarily my own, but just from what I've
We
witnessed.
just looked at 3 case studies that illustrate Jesus' vision of doing right by others and fostering healthy relationships.
Next, we'll look at 3 more about keeping your word, responding to injustice, and how to treat people that you can't stand.
Oh, okay. So this is gonna have to be a 2-video thing, but we'll take a pause in between it. Because I don't have any marital issues, thank God, and God is very gracious to me and my husband. But it's one of those things that, like, family-wise or friend-wise, I've seen a lot, and it's hard to, I guess. It's hard to talk about these situations because on one hand, I'm a human. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to say the wrong things. But God ultimately is who we should point towards. Just like, hey, if they're Christian, obviously, just like, hey, pray to God. Pray about this situation because he's trying to reach out to you through this. Like, obviously, lend them an ear to hear their troubles, but always be like, hey, well, why don't you also pray about it? Because Jesus loves you and he's trying to reach out to you. I am very much like on also high alert because there was an earwig on my desk just before the stream. And okay, it was just a piece of string. Like I am like so hyper tuned into anything touching my skin right now. I am not a bug fan. I am so scared of bugs. Okay, we're gonna do one more video and then that's gonna be it for today. Oh, okay, yeah, this one's really good. Conflict in relationships is unavoidable. This one's really, really good. We're gonna watch this one.
Conflict in relationships is unavoidable. Even with your friends and family, maintaining peace is a struggle.
And it's
Always.
even more difficult with our enemies, people who are out to get us.
Right. This is true of any time and any place in human history. Where there are people, there is strife and violence.
And this
Yeah.
was definitely true in the time of Jesus, when Roman forces occupied the lands of Israel. So in his teachings, Jesus gives a radical vision for how his followers can seek peace in the midst of this conflict. And
What a
work to
lesson for
repair
this
even
time.
the most difficult relationships.
Jesus is an Israelite, and he believes that God's wisdom for relationships is found in the covenant laws given to ancient Israel.
And so in these teachings, Jesus will quote from one of those laws and then show the wisdom that's underneath.
So, Jesus says, you have heard that it was said to the ancients, do not break your oath, but fulfill to the Lord the vows you have made.
Now, in Israel, an oath was a type of promise where you swear by God that you will do what you say.
Like if you want to borrow some money, you could swear by God to repay me.
Exactly. And you can trust me because in Israel's covenant laws, God requires me to keep my oaths.
So oaths are a great way to avoid disputes.
You would think so, but even oaths can be twisted to take advantage of people. For example,
Or we
what
just
if I
straight up break
swear
'em?
by God's temple that I will repay you?
Well, I know the law requires you to honor your oath, so it's a deal.
Ah, but I didn't exactly swear by God, just by his temple. So I'm not really bound to the oath.
So you're tricking me into trusting you.
Exactly. So Jesus cuts through all of this and says, just don't make oaths at all, by God or by anything else in God's world.
Never make a
It's like
promise
tricky
to anyone?
contracts.
Not quite. His point is that when you do make a promise, don't use God's reputation as a
Oh,
tool. to
the
manipulate people.
little
Right,
Legos.
Jesus says, let your yes be yes and your no be no.
Being a peacemaker starts with a radical commitment to honesty and integrity.
Now, I can see how this works if I started the conflict, but what if someone else starts a conflict with me?
Well, the next case study actually gets into exactly that.
Jesus quotes from the Torah. You have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth.
Oh,
This is a famous line known as the law of retaliation.
Yeah, you harm me, I can harm you back. This kind of sounds like a license for revenge that can get out of hand.
Well, actually, this law was designed to limit the amount of retribution you can demand. It should be equal to the amount of harm done and not more.
Oh, so this law keeps peace by restraining our urge to hurt back those who hurt us.
Yes, and Jesus takes the wisdom of this law to a new level, telling his followers, don't even pay back an evil person.
Don't retaliate at all?
Yes, become people who value peace more than getting even.
yay.
But letting people get away with evil won't bring peace. You
They
just
can
can't
also
stand
share the
by and do
fish.
nothing.
Hold on, Jesus doesn't say do nothing. Rather, he advocates a really bold and creative response to evil that is nonviolent, so it can open the door for peace.
What does that look like?
Well, Jesus gives 3 examples from his own time and place.
First, he says, whoever slaps you on your right cheek, turn the other to them as well.
In the ancient Roman world, a right cheek slap with the back of the right hand was a symbolic way of dominating someone.
And humiliating them.
But Jesus says, don't retaliate. Rather, stand your ground and offer them the left cheek. This will force your attacker to strike with an open right hand. In other words, to strike you like an equal.
And it forces them to treat you as a fellow human being.
Yes, even
Yeah, that's a part of the passage that's absolutely referencing the time of Jesus' time, who he was speaking to. But it makes sense too, in nowadays. I guess I'm thinking of just like the backhanded slaps of like the old movies, like where they take off the glove and they just, well, it's like the fight is on.
even if it costs you.
Well, next, Jesus says, if anyone sues you and takes your shirt, let him have your coat also.
Yeah, in ancient Israel, taking a poor person's coat was against the law because it's also their blanket to keep warm at night.
But a really uncaring person could find a way around this by demanding their shirt as payment.
Right. So Jesus offers a creative response. Give them your shirt and also give them your coat.
Why would you do that? Wouldn't that leave you exposed?
Exactly. Jesus is being provocative. The goal is to shock everyone around by exposing this injustice through costly generosity.
The third example is whoever forces you to go 1 mile, go with them 2.
In Jesus' day, a Roman soldier could force any subject to carry their packs for them up to 1 mile.
How humiliating and dangerous.
And so Jesus says, carry that load not just 1 mile, but 2. The first mile, he might treat you like a pack animal, but by going that second mile, you assert your humanity as you choose to treat him like a friend.
Wait, treat an enemy oppressor like a friend?
Yeah,
it
that's
sounds
pretty crazy.
But Jesus is saying that bold generosity can
timing.
subvert the power games of our world and even turn enemies into friends. And that leads to the last law that Jesus quotes.
You have heard that it was said, You shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy.
Jesus is quoting an ancient biblical law when he says, love your neighbor. But then he quotes a popular line that many Israelites added to the law, but you can hate your enemy. Jesus counters this by telling his followers, love your enemies and pray for.
I apologize. I need to BRB because my worst fear did happen. There is a bug crawling on me that I can't quite reach without needing to take a break for. So I will be right back. While I take care of that. And I will see you in a minute. Okay. Should be everything all set up again. Mic should be going. I apologize. Thank the Lord for looking after me. Jesus is good. God is good. I don't know what bug that was. I put it in a baggie so that way I could kind of get a second opinion from my husband later. Accidentally. I think that's about the height that it was before. No? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, I messed up a window. A lot of things are going wrong, but that's okay. I'm just still kind of shaken up about the bug because it's flea and tick season. And I am terrified of ticks. Like, you have no idea. I am, like, super, super scared of ticks. And I am worried that that was a tick climbing on me. So I have already kind of like had that kind of a plan in mind that if I found anything on my body that looked even remotely flea or tick like that, I would put it in a baggie and save it for help, because it was okay. It was like crawling up my back, which means it was probably something that was already on my chair. So I have sprayed down my chair with apple cider vinegar, like a lot. Like, it smells like apple cider vinegar in here now. But I am going to be wearing citronella for the rest of the stream also to kind of help with that. I think I'm okay. I feel like if there was a tick and it had gotten me earlier, I would have found it by now, kind of a thing. So this is one of those instances that's like, okay, this thing, whatever it was, just totally climbed up on me during the stream. But I'm not going to obsess about it anymore. It's in a baggie. God saved me. We're all good to keep going. I am just a little bit freaked out, so that's why I had to take a break to do some extra measures to try and keep myself safe, because, ugh, I hate summer. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Summer is my least favorite season ever because of all because of all the bugs and stuff that come out and just creepy crawlies. Ugh. It's not even like the cool bugs either. Like, you can go like, oh yeah, dragonflies and butterflies and little moths and, you know, some spiders I'm okay with. Like, I like spider fights. I like when spiders like go after flies and you just like go, 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 or they go after wasps and you're just like go, 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 go. But any other bugs, I'm just like, no. Minuet says ticks freak me out too. Glad you're able to catch it just in case. I'm hoping that it wasn't the worst case scenario. Whatever it is, it's still alive in the baggie. Just so you know, that's why I was like kind of leaning towards it being a flea, because fleas are hardy little frickers. And fleas are very hard to kill because their shells are so hard. I'm probably going to spray apple cider vinegar in the baggie later just to assert dominance on it, but I felt something crawling up my back in the middle of the video, and then as it got further up my dress, like, I was like, oh gosh, I know, this has to get caught right now, whatever it is. I'm still not okay mentally. So let's watch the video and trust God still got us. Trusting God still got me.
For those who mistreat you.
Now, isn't this going a bit far? Peace with my enemies is one thing, but loving them?
Yes, Jesus seems to think that true peace is only possible when we treat every human as if they have ultimate value, which means that even
I agree
my
with
enemy
Jesus.
is a fellow image of God.
But how am I supposed to love someone who hates me? It's hard enough to love the people that love me.
And our love for our friends and our family is a good thing. But for Jesus, that is just the starting point. He challenges his followers to share that same love outside our circles of comfort. And he holds up God's indiscriminate, generous love as the model.
Jesus says, God causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous.
The call is to become peacemakers who are inviting others in, working to mend broken relationships at every level in our communities.
It really is a radical way to live.
Yes. Jesus calls it becoming complete when he says, be complete just as your heavenly Father is complete. It means imitating God's generosity to both friends and enemies, because for Jesus, creative love is the only pathway to real peace.
Yeah. Oh, the illustrations in this are just so good. I'm sorry, I'm still zoned out about the bug. I'm gonna be real. I'm still zoned out about the bug.
We just finished the teachings of Jesus on how to do right by others in our most difficult relationships.
Next, Jesus will explore the problem of religious hypocrisy and how it can ruin even our best attempts to honor God.
We saw that. We saw chapter 6, verses 1 through 4. I don't know about the 5 through 15 video. But yeah. That is another part of the Sermon on the Mount covered by the Bible Project. Love these videos. Some of my favorite stuff. God, thank you so much for saving me from that bug. Sorry, you know that's gonna be my story for the whole day. As my husband comes home from work, he's sitting down with dinner with me, and he's just like, okay, babe, it was stream day. How did your stream go? And I go, I found a bug. Can you please look at it? I have the baggie. Just like, please help me. Please tell me I'm okay. I'm scared. I am like so incredibly scared. I don't know what happened. I don't know where it came from. I checked everywhere. My dog was fine. I was fine. And speaking of my dog, he doesn't have any fleas on him. That's this part that gets me, is that I just washed this blanket yesterday. This fuzzy blanket, I just washed it. Him, I just gave him a bath yesterday. I gave him a good scrubbing down bath. And on top of that, I even made an apple cider vinegar spray specifically for bugs and fungus and stuff like that, it's safe to use on you and your dogs. I've been spraying his paws down because he's just been itchy and hurting him, and I've been feeling so bad, so I'm like taking extra special care of my puppy. But then there's still bugs! Minuet says, just a bug, it attacked me, and I caught it. Here, throws it back at him. Oh yeah, Taco's gonna have a whole lot to think about. We're gonna be, like, having a science class at the end of the day. Like, he's, like, had a stressful day, he's had to help all these different people with his work, and then he just comes home and he's just like, where did the science class come from? Altea says, bug and bag, let me out of this prison! Minuet says, good, yeah, Rusty gonna be the big gate for bugs getting into the house. Oh, I check him all the time. I check Rusty all the time. Like I said, he just got a bath yesterday, and I spray him down in apple cider vinegar now. I give him coconut oil on his toes. He's a very spoiled puppy. But yeah, no, I don't know what to say. God loves me. He protected me from that. That was terrifying, but you know what? We gotta move on, because if the more I obsess over it, the worse it's gonna get. So today is actually going to be a different stream. I'm not going to be gaming today because I'm gonna be real with you. I don't feel like doing any of my typical games today. I'm not doing Overwatch until July. World of Warcraft I have been enjoying, but I don't want to wear myself out of it because I'm playing with my family and friends on World of Warcraft now. But I did get a different kind of bug. Goodness, my mind's on bugs. I was gonna say an art bug. So I have been bitten by the art bug. I hate myself. I do this to myself. Okay. But yeah, art. We're going to be doing art today, but before we do art, we're actually going to be doing a tier list. That was the super secret surprise of this stream today. We're going to be doing a tier list because I've been obsessed with Pokemon Gen 4 specifically right now. I want to slowly move into being a Pokemon gamer, like VTuber. Slowly want to move my way there. So the first step that I'm going to do that is I'm going to start with art. I'm going to make my own art for thumbnails and just kind of, I want to do pixel art in the future so that way you guys can have like little Pokeballs or Pokemon rolling around on the stream like how Minuet does. Like I really love Minuet's streams. She's got an amazing stream setup. If you haven't seen her streams, love them. She's got like these little wooble guys that go across the stream and I love it. I want to do pixel art like that, but I want to do it for Pokemon themes specifically because even as my VTuber is dressed, I'm a super 90s kid. I'm an adult now, I'm a kidult, but you know, aside from that fact, I'm going to do a lot of Pokemon stuff. And I want to start slowly moving towards there. And while I get kind of research set up for how I'm going to stream a 3DS, because right now the goal is eventually what would be amazing is having a 3DS modded with a capture card. In the future, that is my goal. Right now, like, it's going to be like a completely scuffed setup when I get it set up, but I am working on getting my 3DS set up to stream and it not look terrible, but I need just a few like things to do that. Minuet says emulation. The thing about emulation is I don't want to burn myself out on Pokemon by doing 2 different Pokemon games. There is actually a way that when you hack a 3DS, you can send the data to your computer and then it'll save it on the computer and send it back to you as well. So you, that way you actually are playing the same file but on 2 different systems. And it's actually not, it's not taxing like you would believe it would be. Think of it as like just like a live updating server. That's what your computer would become. And Pokemon is such a nothing game to do that with that it's actually really easy to do it. Yeah, so a lot of people, they have just regular 3DSs. There is, okay, so it's either you have a 3DS that's modded or you have a, I'm super like skeeved about bugs right now. I'm like seeing them everywhere. Forgive me. You either have a 3DS that's modded with the capture card, or you have the pixel friend thing. I can't remember what it's called, but it looks like a 2DS. It like basically just looks like a bootleg 2DS, but it has like all the software you need to run DS games. Or no, it runs 3DS games. It doesn't run DS games. That was the caveat. Oh, apologies. So let me get the tier list up because I had saved it. I had bookmarked the tier list that I was gonna do, but it's on obviously it's on a different it was obviously on a different tab because I didn't want that distracting us. Altea says this is going to be Gen 4, right? Yep, we are voting specifically on Generation 4, not what appears in Platinum. We are going for all of the new Pokemon for Generation 4. So we're going to be going a little bit based off of looks and a little bit based off of, how do I put this? A little bit based off of looks, a little bit based off of viability. And don't worry, I'm gonna fix the screen so it's not gonna be all ads everywhere. Okay, so we have to be at like that. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Okay, what if I scroll up? Okay, yeah, we still need to like fix that. Like really zoom in and have it like that. Yeah. Okay. There we go. All the ads will just be annoying me on my side. Altea says, "Oh, I thought it was gonna be Pokemon games, not it's the Pokemon themselves." Interesting. Yeah, no, we're not talking about the games. If we were talking about the games, we would have been here for a very, very long time. No, we're talking about the Pokemon specifically. And eventually we'll get to like Black and White is gonna be the next game that I'm gonna be binging once I'm done with Gen 4. I am playing Pokemon Platinum with the goal of doing endgame stuff for fun that I couldn't do as a kid. And then also my supplementary goal is going to be oh gosh, this wraps around all the way over there. Hold on. You're just gonna hear ASMR Sam for a little while. Okay. There we go. Okay, I've fixed the mic so it's right in front of me. Mic quality should be a lot better now, too, because it's not off to the side and in the middle of Timbuktu. So, where was I? I'm going to be moving on to Gen 5 soon. Oh, not Gen 5. Oh, I'm sorry. Not Gen 5. I'm actually going to be moving on to Soul Silver and Heart Gold because Soul Silver had like a 70 to 80 hour save file on it that I restarted stupidly. And I remember why I did it. I did it because I wanted to soft reset for a shiny starter, and I wanted to play through Soul Silver because I love Soul Silver a lot. And so Soul Silver and Heart Gold are both now not in the end game, and I need to get one of them to end game so I can transfer and stuff, and then I'll move on to Gen 5. But we're going to do this, and then when I'm playing Soul Silver is goated, absolutely. Then when I do the Soul Silver run, hopefully, please, hopefully by then I'll have my 3DS set up and all of the stuff that I want set up for stream by then. So that's why we will be drawing today. And then eventually I'm going to be bugging the absolute poop out of Minuet, because I'll be like, hey, where's the Pixel program? I need it. I just need to ask a couple questions how to download it and then cry trying to learn the program. And then I could go from there. Okay. So we'll actually not do like a line of Pokemon. A line of Pokemon, that sounds... I swear I'm not doing drugs. It's just Pokemon. Back then, my mom would have been like, what's a line of Pokemon? What are you talking about? Minuet says Steam has it, but yeah, I'll get you right as rain. Thank you so much, Minuet. You are literally the best sister ever. Alteus, you're laughing at me talking about doing a line of Pokemon, I imagine. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, so when I talk about the evolutionary line, we are going to do it individually, even though we're not going to base them off of potential. We're going to base them off of how they are doing as you get them, if that makes sense. Also, looks. We're going to do a little bit of looks. We should add a... How do I add another one? Add a row below. We're going to do it like nasty purple. Oh no, that one's not nasty purple. Hold on. Let's change the colors here, okay? Let's change them to our favorite colors. Look. S tier for me is a green. Okay? Like, really good green. A is going to be like... I don't know. Maybe a yellow. Yellow's good. We're going to do... orange for B, where it's kind of like the middle road. For C, we're gonna do red. And then D, yeah, D will stay purple. Actually, I don't think we need an... I mean, we could do F. Like, we could do, like, unusable. And ugly. Like, we're gonna be extra mean to these Pokemon today. Altius says, wow. 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 Yeah. So there's only a few I think would ever go into that category. Don't worry. Don't worry. We won't be that mean. We won't be that mean, okay? Okay. This is looking pretty good. I think that... Okay, hold on. We'll make it... We should make a legendary tier. Well, okay, hold on. Add a row above, and then this one's going to be this light blue that I really love. We're going to have this one be legendary tier, and then the legendaries are all going to go up here, but we're going to put them in row, like, in line of, like, best to worst legendaries. I feel like that's fair, instead of having to put them down here in this category. Altea says, well, I have a feeling I know which one's going in the unusable and ugly. I don't know, do you? Okay, so obviously we're going to start with the starters. We'll do Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup, and then do Groddle, Monferno, and Prinplup, and go from there. We're going to start with Turtwig. I'm going to put him in B at the moment, because we're going to talk about him, okay? Turtwig is fantastic. I remember seeing somebody who talked about Turtwig and being like, oh, Turtwig is like the best Pokemon to get right out of the gate. And I agree with them on that. I think Turtwig is very friendly for beginners. And also it's a grass starter that helps you a ton with Roark. However, going through the routes with him doesn't feel too great, because honestly, you can find a Badoo like super early on as well, just to kind of get your bases covered. And then Badoo isn't great, but it's a better dual type grass type, I think, for the start of it. So I don't know. I think Turtwig is probably either a B or an A personally. Maybe an A, because I don't think he's not squishy, so he's not going to fall over. He's pretty tanky. He'll be like your first tank in the game, even if you're going up against like any of your weaknesses early on in there, but he's not crazy. For looks, I think he still deserves an A spot too. He's adorable. You can't go wrong with a plant turtle. Like, he is so cute. Come on. I really love all the Gen 4 starters. I think they're all pretty cute. Then we have Chimchar. Chimchar's going in the middle of the road again while we figure out where he goes. Alteus is like, my boy Chimchar deserves an A. I think he's okay. I think Chimchar, personally, for me, looks-wise, is okay. He's not insane in the start, because he's got a lot to go up against with Roark and his fire types, and he's not tanky enough to deal with it. So if we're talking about just Chimchar and not that you can get Monferno to fight Roark, you're gonna have a hard time with Chimchar. But his potential is great. Chimchar's potential is great. I think he is also very cute, including the little poop on his head. Including the little tiny poop on his head. I think it's great. Yeah, I think I'll agree with you. I think an A works for him for sure. Piplup's middle road right now is an A. I think Piplup is amazing. Amazing as a Pokemon. Now, will he stay that way for the rest of his evolutions? That's where I say it's debatable. But Piplup as a starter is great. His stats are pretty middle of the road too for going up against like your rival and everything else on the route. He obviously struggles against your typical grass types, but by then you should have a Starly, so you know Piplup's not terrible. Piplup's going to carry you through a lot in the beginning, but as soon as you hit Gardenia, that's where Piplup stops. You know what I mean? Like, even when you get to Eterna Forest, it's a little bit like, you start to see that if you haven't evolved him yet, it's a problem. Oh, like, not even mentioning you're gonna have to deal with Valley Windworks of, like, you got a Buizel by then. You have Buizel as your option by then, and Buizel is just so much faster. So if you hadn't evolved Piplup after Rourke, obviously, things are going to be rough for you. But cuteness-wise, Piplup is absolutely an A. I don't know if he's an S tier, though. I think Piplup just deserved the A right away. So totally not biased with him being my first starter. I think he's just like a high B if he was in the B tier, but he's definitely like we're still like putting them in order. I think Turtwig is amazing. Then you have Chimchar's a little bit better because of his speed than Piplup, and then Piplup's right after him. I think that's fair. Grotle is great. Grotle is your tanky boy. Altea says I agree that Chimmy is not crazy, but Monferno though. We'll get to Monferno, but we got the tank. I think the tank is better than obviously the baby starters for sure. He's great. I can't remember what level he learns Leech Seed, but you do get Leech Seed. Probably eventually. I don't think. What level? Let me look this up on my phone. What level does Grotle get Leech Seed? Let me just try to pull up the Pokédex on my phone so I have that there. Oh my gosh. Shiny Grotle looks amazing, dude. Oh my gosh. Dude, what does Shiny Torterra look like? Yes, dude. Okay, I'm gonna shiny farm those eventually. Oh no. In the old games, they look amazing. In the new games, the shinies are kind of washed out. It makes me sad. It makes me really sad. Okay, so yeah, no, Grotle doesn't really learn Leech Seed until 32. That's right when he evolves, so never mind. He's still a really good tank, though. He still is a stupidly good tank, and he's probably going to help you. Like, you're probably still going to use him. Excuse me, even in the Valley Windworks battle against Mars. Excuse me, oh my goodness. It's been a day. So I think Grotle definitely deserves to be at the top of the A-list so far with what we've got. But Monferno, let's get him up there. Monferno is really, really, really good. Like, Monferno is really stupidly good. His speed is good. What? Sorry, you might have heard a little bit of double audio going on, but I'm trying to get my phone back up to speed with the chat. Yeah, Monferno's speed is great. You finally get the fighting type, which means you're going to be absolutely demolishing the Valley Windworks fight. And then on top of that, you're going to be like speeding through the Gridania. Oh my gosh, Gridania, that's Final Fantasy 14. Help. Oh my gosh. You're going to be blasting through the second Gardenia. Like Gardenia, the second gym. Altea says, Meep, are you doing okay over there, buddy? You doing okay? I'm so sorry. Like, I blasted the microphone. Altea's I heard Gridania. Yeah. I tend to I tend to mix that up a lot. But I think Monferno honestly deserves the spot above the tank. I think no, because I mean, you have Monferno for definitely a little while. You'll have him until main lean, essentially, depending on whether you're Diamond, Pearl, or Platinum. If you're in Platinum, I'd say Monferno is behind Grotle. But if you're in Diamond and Pearl, Monferno is above Gardenia. Or above Grotle. Gardania, Potato. Yeah, at this point, it's just Gardania, Olive Gridania. That's what it is now. So we're gonna put, okay, because of the fact that Diamond and Pearl, you have Diamond and Pearl over Platinum. I play Platinum though, but I'm still gonna include Diamond and Pearl in this kind of thing. Monferno is still really good. I think Monferno's would be above for Diamond and Pearl, but below for Platinum, personally. Prinplup. Prinplup had potential, but as much as I love Prinplup, he's just so not useful for anything during the time that he is available. He gets Metal Claw, which that's great. That's a precursor to Empoleon. Yeah, you'll probably keep Metal Claw if you want a good metal stab move, I guess. Well, Alteus is ouch. True, but ouch. He's just not good for in his... I totally forgot to talk about cuteness with Grotle and Monferno. I think Monferno is not as cute as Grotle for sure, but battle potential, it puts him up there still. But for Prinplup's really cute, but just not that great. And for a middle road of the evolution where you have him for so long, you feel the pain of your middle evolution starter not performing as well. It isn't really until, like, let me think, like going through the battles and stuff, like you go to Maylene, you're kind of struggling because if you accidentally evolve him, he's got the steel typing and then you're weak. If you're going against Fantina, he's okay. His stats will be okay. Like, it's okay. Then after Maylene, you have to go to Crash or Wake, which he's not going to help you at all. He's literally only here to help you defeat Rourke. And like, you could do that with Piplup, you know what I mean? And Piplup's cuter, in my opinion. So I think Prinplup's actually going to stay in B, personally. I think he's going to be a high B because he's still cute. And you could still do contests and stuff with him like that. But again, like, you're not doing much with Prinplup at all, except countering, like, ground types at that point. You were basically counting down the levels until Prinplup evolves, sadly. For the game. If Prinplup was in a different game where there was, like, a fire gym or something, like, instead of Maylene, he'd be fantastic as a middle evolution. I think that would do him a lot better, but there just isn't that. And even with like the side content that you can do, so say like you're like, oh, I don't want to go straight to Maylene, I want to do like a little bit of training. Your side content is the tower, like the tower in Wayward Cave, which Wayward Cave you should be going to anyways, regardless. So he might be okay for Wayward Cave. So I think he should stay high B for Wayward Cave. But your side content is contests at that point. The Ghost Tower to get Defog. Breeding. You should have Honey Trees by that point too. What else? I just mentioned it. Wayward Cave. Yeah, you should be going under there for Wayward Cave. So you can fight like the fire types or whatever down there. And there's honestly, Wayward Cave is really just for Gible and for helping out that little girl I still need to help out. I left that little girl in Wayward Cave so I could come back with a Pokemon that I need to level later. So she's still lost in there. I still haven't done that side content. But and then there's the game corner by that point. There's really nothing to do with Prinplup specifically, like to help out at all. Oh yeah, the Ruins of Alph was another one I was going to mention for side content to do. Like, that's it. There's really not anything crazy for him. Torterra is either a high A or a low S for me for a Torterra because he's extremely tanky and very good with Earthquake. Like, he gets Earthquake naturally, so you don't have to waste the TM on him. And bada bing, bada boom, you got yourself a really good Earth type or ground type for when you are facing Volkner and very late game stuff. Like, late game stuff, he is fantastic for. Like, you ain't gonna find anybody better than Torterra for that. I will say, though, his Ice type weakness, like, before you get to that late game, you're going to feel very rough going outside of Mount Coronet to get to Candice. And he also feels rough going up against Team Galactic, which at that point, Team Galactic is going to be like your whole day, essentially. Like, Team Galactic is the moment when you're going through this particular stage of the game. And that's a lot of Crobats and Stunkies. So, I mean, like, he'll be good with facing off the poison types that aren't flying. So he'll still be okay, which is why he's still up there. But it's one of those things that, like, he really shines really late game rather than that just evolve stage. So every one of these starters gets their moment of like, we aren't doing so good, but, you know, we get better for a different part and then we get worse for another part. So I just think it makes him better to be there. Altea says Gen 4 starters, funnily enough, have typing that lets them counter their weaknesses, except Empoleon. You're absolutely right with that. Empoleon just gets absolutely just dunked on for some reason. Like, I'm both super effective against not Prinplup, I'm both super effective against Empoleon. And then Torterra is also like, I'm also super effective against Empoleon. Empoleon's like, I have water. I have water. Steel did not. Here's the thing is, Steel has had a really rough time being this weird type. Like, being a really weird either subtype. As a main type, it didn't really do anything until X and Y, where you could finally be super effective against fairies, and then suddenly it's all like swords and metal claws and iron tails everywhere. But really, like, Steel was just there for you to absorb other types. Like, for example, like, I guess you could say with like, what, rock Steel down there. Rock absorbs the fire super effectiveness, so Steel doesn't take it. But if you have Lucario, Steel takes, you know, your ghost, Steel takes like your double. I don't know, Steel's just so weird in the 4th gen. I'm gonna be real, like, Steel doesn't make any sense to me in the 4th gen. Nothing it can do, and then on top of that, the Steel Pokemon you do get are like absolutely having to struggle against fire type Pokemon, and I will get to that point. Like, we're gonna talk a lot of crap about Steel. About Steel the typing, I'm gonna be real. Altea says it's good defensively, but Infernape, not even that. It's not even good defensively because they put Steel type on Pokemon that aren't really even that defensive. So we're, like I said, we're going to get to that when we get to our Steel types and explain why, especially when it comes to Empoleon. He's okay. I mean, Steel's super effective against Ice, so I guess you have that for one gym, one specific area. Okay. We have Infernape. Infernape is in the S class. And we're not going to argue about that. He deserved that spot because I don't know why the favoritism was there. I guess the developers really, really liked the Wukong story and, you know, got to play it in the future and stuff. And they said, you know what, we need to go back to the past and make Infernape and make him perfect. And then they did. Infernape obviously has his power creep in the newer games, but in his time, Infernape is really solid. I have Infernape on my team currently, and I wouldn't change that because it's really weird how he can be both good at physical moves and special type moves. I guess that's just because that was the new thing to introduce in Gen 4, but, like, man, dude, this thing can, like, use Flamethrower and also close combat for just extreme damage output. And a good majority of your game is going to be using him, whether he's got the advantage or not, simply because of how good his attack stats are. Now, the way that he looks sick. His sprite art is so cool. He's not even my favorite starter, like, at all, but he's up there. Like he's just really undeniably good. Empoleon is probably going to be in an A. I think his stats put him in an A. I don't think he's as cute as Piplup, obviously. He's pretty cool. But I think he still deserves an A slot simply because he is a pretty solid water type pick for when you need to take care of things that are... It's really the steel type that bugs me about this, though, because if you go up against a fire type, you're just normal effectiveness. Like, fire is going to do normal effectiveness on you, which means, like, Infernape still has the edge on you if you're ever facing one, but you're not really gonna. You kind of run into fire types in the region sometimes, so it's not a huge deal, but what you run into more often is a lot of, like, ground types. The only reason I think he still stays in A is because his speed stat is enough for him to outrun the Earthquake. I think that's it, really. And then if you use him against Flint, you're still gonna have to deal with the fact that fire isn't going to be negated by him, but rather he just kind of like takes it, you know? And his stats aren't good enough, in my opinion, to take a ton of fire damage. He's just, if you want to activate Torrent, I guess you can do that. That's fine. The steel typing really actually brings him down, if anything. What would have been really cool instead is if he was steel ice, or not steel ice, if he was water ice. Because at least you could have had something for his special attack. Altea says Flint also has an Infernape. Exactly, like, you are going to still be going up against an Infernape with an Empoleon. I don't think it's ever a good matchup for these two. So, because he's just going to outspeed him anyways. Unless you did good IV training or breeding at that point. But honestly, nobody thinks about that when they first pick their starter. Nobody resets to get a female Piplup. Like nobody does that. Nobody resets for a female starter because they're like, I need to breed this thing. You know what I mean? Oh, puppy is leaving the puppy nest. Goodbye, puppy. No, you can't be half on, half off. I love you, but you have to make the decision. You either be with me or you be on the bed. There you go. Oh, he's a good boy. He's a smiley boy. Oh, what a sweetie. He's a good boy. He's being such a good boy. Okay. Okay, so that's the starters down. That's just the starters down. It's already 12:50 and I think I started this at like 11:30. It must have been, I hope the Bible study was good. Hope we were doing good for that one. Because we still got that much Pokemon to go. Okay. So Starly, Starly's really cute. I like it a lot. I usually use the Starly line in my playthroughs. I did not this time. I do not have a single Starly or Staraptor, Staravia, whatever you want to say. I caught a Starly to trade it for one of the starter eggs, and I have not gone back and caught a Starly and trained one. So this is going to be not from my Platinum experience this time, but from my experiences always having a Starly, Staravia. Altea says, that's my Shadows of Almia Ranger partner right there. Such a good burb. Yeah. That game's good. We're not going to base it off of that game because you could say any Pokemon's good in that game because of their little special assists. That's a whole nother can of worms. But Starly... Starly in the early game is not good. I think Starly still, again, has, like, a better time than Prinplup because you're with Prinplup for so long. But Starly, like, helps you counter your weakness if you picked Monferno or Chimchar. If you pick Chimchar, this guy's gonna help you a lot in the beginning. He's not insane because, again, you have to go up against Rourke. So he's just a baby. He's just a baby. Staravia. Staravia, though. I think Staravia is gonna go above the starters, obviously. Maybe not Grottle. Maybe Grottle. Not Monferno, but maybe Grottle. Because he gets Intimidate, and Intimidate is so helpful. Like, Intimidate is stupidly helpful in the time that he is available to have. You're going to be sending him out a lot to just help weaken the opponent and then back out again. But he's also he's got wing attack. He's a good attacker. He's very good. Altea says, is it just me or does Staravia have a funny haircut? He's got that ice cream haircut. He's got that Superman curly Q haircut. Then he goes into his emo phase. We have Staravia, or Staraptor. Staravia, Staraptor, yeah. Oh, should it go above Torterra, though? I think so. Honestly, Chirp Kent. Goodness gracious. Staraptor's just really, really, really good. Really, really good. Especially with Intimidate. He's gonna be your flyer. He's got good attack stat. I hyped up Torterra for sure, but I still think, I'm not using Torterra for the Pokemon League because there's only one instance that Grass type would be helpful, and I have a Garchomp for Earthquake, so, He was really good for the Volkner gym. And if you don't have a Garchomp, you didn't take your time to get a Gible and train that up, then, yeah, you're going to use him for the League. But other than that, I would still use Staraptor for the League if I had one. Simply because of the Intimidate and the kind of, he's actually kind of bulky too. He's got a good attack stat with a little bit of bulk. He's a chunky bird. He's a helpful chunky bird. Do I dare? Bidoof isn't ugly though. That's the thing is. I think Bidoof isn't ugly. I actually think he's kind of cute, but I do think that he's very useless. He's the only thing that he's good for is being an HM slave. His stats aren't good. He just, if you really like him, you can use him, but he's just not good. And I got a shiny. I have a shiny B-Barrel right now. So Bidoof and B-Barrel are definitely going to be in the D, but we're going to put B-Barrel above Bidoof because at least B-Barrel has all the HMs on him and he's helpful for that. He's got Waterfall, Rock Smash, Rock Climb, and Strength. That way, only other one water type has Surf. So, he helps you get through the victory road and then you just drop him. Altea says, do not show this to the Bidoof lovers out there. They will be mad. I think he's cute, but he's just not good in battle. We're doing this based off of cuteness and battle. And I think at the very most, Bidoof could be a C because of his cuteness, but he's just completely useless. Unless just being an HM slave. He's completely useless. We got Kricketot. I also think Cricketot's kind of ugly. I never really used him. I'm not into the whole theme that he's got. If you want to talk about, Kricketune being okay as a bug type, if you need a bug type, especially if you're going up against, Gardenia, he's okay. At some point he learns X-Scissor, if I remember that, but he's totally not useful at all for anything for the rest of the game. The Cry though for the Kricketune, yeah, he's jamming. We'll put him above Bidoof. He's jamming, but he's kind of ugly. I know he's supposed to be a violin cricket thing, but we already just went over how bad I am with bugs. Okay, we just went over that. Shinx. I think Shinx is really adorable, but Shinx is not helpful at all. Unless Shinx gets Intimidate. Altea's my boy. Unless Shanks gets Intimidate, you're not using him for Rourke. You're not using him for the fight with Valley Windworks. You're not using him for Gardenia at all, if you even manage to get there with just his Shanks. He's okay. He's cute. He's cute. I definitely think he's worse off in the B tier than anything else. Then you have Luxio, who's pretty high in the B tier. He's great for being an electric type, I guess. You'll probably have him by the time that you hit up Wake. But by then you might as well just go with a Luxray, you know what I mean? So, I mean, Luxio's good. He's got the Intimidate thing. You're using him against Valley Windworks to help you, you know, lower the attack of Mars's Pokemon because she's ridiculous. I've definitely used him for that before. But other than that, he's just not great. He's a physical attacker, electric type, in a world where there isn't a lot of electric type physical options. Like, we didn't get Volt Switch yet until Gen 5, and Volt Switch would put him a whole lot higher on this list, but he's just not there. He doesn't peak until Gen 5, really. Same thing with Luxray. I think Luxray still should be a high B. I don't think he even makes it to A. I'm gonna be real. You kind of drop him after Crasher Wake, in my opinion. Like, he can't do much else aside from that. He can learn the Elemental Fangs if you want to invest in him with the shards and stuff to give him Fire Fang for Candace, but, like, why would you? Why would you when you can find a Ponyta or something? I mean, fire types are definitely very scarce in Gen 4. Fire types are absolutely, like, non-existent in Gen 4. Out of all of these, I think only, like, 3 are fire types. You've got Chimchar. You've got Chimchar, you've got Magmar for Magmortar. You've got Ponyta. Yeah, that's really about it, because I'm not counting the secret key for the Rotoms. You can get the DNS thing to get the Rotoms now, so I will still cover those, but, like, if you really think about it, like, if you're planning and you need a fire type, your options are so scarce. Like, so scarce. That's the whole reason why I think a lot of these had, like, fire type options. We have Badoo. Badoo's great for Rourke. After that, you're just begging that it'll evolve. Because it's not going to help you against Gardenia. Pretty decent special attacker, though. So it will definitely help you with Rourke a lot in the early game, especially if your rival's got Piplup. It's a great one. Poison Point is also a stupid ability, helpful ability as well. Natural Cure is good for late game, I feel like, where you're really worrying about statuses and stuff. So I mean, if you're in the long haul with Badoo and getting it to a Rose Raid, great. If not, Poison Point's definitely better. It's a very cute Pokemon too. I think it's a very adorable Pokemon. So it definitely belongs up there. We have nothing in the C tier so far. So I think I'm going to move Shinx to the C tier. We'll keep Luxio up here, but we're moving Shinx to the C tier based off of what we got to deal with. Probably Prinplup too. We had nothing in the C tier. Something had to go there. Roselia isn't up here. It's just going to go straight to Rose Raid because Roselia is a Gen 3 Pokemon. So, let me think. I know I was debating putting her in A. If not, she's a very high B. She's a good grass type special attacker, but again, when you're in late game, by the time that you get her, you probably have her for Crasher Wake because the shiny stone that you find on the route to Celestic Town with the dowsing machine. Or with pickup, if that point you had gotten crazy lucky with pickup at like level 40 or something. I don't know. But if you decided to use your shiny stone on Roselia instead of Togetic, which is the weirdest thing you could do, I think she's pretty good for Crash Awake. Should be really good. Poison Point's still super strong. She's really pretty. I love her design. But after that, not really going to do much with her in the league, that's for sure. You might use her against Bertha for a couple Pokemon. You're going to have to deal with Gliscor, so you're going to have to automatically think about, do you want her just for situational stuff in the league? Blue says, how do you do? How do you do, buddy? It's good to see you. We're in the middle of a Pokemon tier list before we actually do some drawing. Yeah. So I think Roserade's pretty much the highest B right now. I don't think she's crazy. The design is an A, but she is really only helpful against Bertha and Milotic from Cynthia. So I mean, you technically could argue above Empoleon here because of that. Because you can take her to the league, unlike Empoleon, and her design is really solid. But just if you're limited on shiny stones, or you just for some reason used all your shiny stones for everything else but her, like, you don't need her. Blue says Luxio should be above legendary. Look, we're going based off of, like, yeah, he's very cute, but usefulness during his time when you're there, he's just kind of like there. You can use him for Intimidate for sure, but he's just kind of like there. He's got that awkward stat spread of, like, I can physical attack, but not a lot of physical attack needs. Altea says, if this was Pokemon Ranger, I would agree. Yes, I would agree with that too. Luxio is insane in Pokemon Ranger. Just not here. Luxio doesn't, like, the Luxray line doesn't, like, really shine until Gen 5, sadly. Okay, this is an absolute C tier, this guy. He's a good physical attacker. His Mold Breaker is great, but for some reason, he's, like, the rock type, it just doesn't, like... Blue says, wait, that was wrong. Do you mean Luxray? Or do you mean Luxio? I don't know. We've got Cranidos. He's okay. By the time you get him... Oh, you meant Shinx. Yeah, Shinx is adorable. I like Shinx. He's one of my favorite Pokemon, but I have not used him. Cranidos is okay. He's not useful for anything. I mean, he might help you with the Valley Windworks fight, but then, like, you go up to Gardenia, he does nothing. Then you could use... I actually did use his Pursuit on Fantina when I had to fight Fantina. So, I mean, you could argue that, the one Dark-type move he's got. And then he can't go against Maylene or Crash or Wake. He can't go against Byron either. And he's a rock type. I mean, you could... I think he can learn Earthquake. I'm not sure about that one. But, I think him and Rampardos are definitely C tier. I think maybe his usefulness is actually a little bit under Shinx, personally. Yeah, no, even under Prinplup, honestly. So we'll put Rampardos up there, Cranidos down there. He's just not... Cool Pokemon, cool concept, not useful. Not useful as a mono rock type. If you really cared... Rampardos can learn Surf? That's wild. Why would he need to learn Surf is beyond me. I don't even know why. Altea says, I'm not joking. He can learn Surf. Why would he need to learn Surf? He's already super effective against rock types, or against fire types. Like, I genuinely don't understand. Was it literally because he couldn't do anything against Byron? I don't know. If you managed... Dinos love to surf. If you managed to take Rampardos to the league, he would be amazing against Flint. And that's it. That is it. If you cared enough about Rampardos to take him to the league because he's your favorite Pokemon, all power to you. Use Stone Edge to your heart's content. That is the only thing he's going to be useful for is against Flint. So I don't know, like, it's still C tier because he does nothing for you for the rest of the game except bring you down. He is pretty cool looking though. This is where I talk about the Steel type being dumb. Blue says he can learn Thunder and Thunderbolt too, apparently. So yeah, to help him against the Water type, that makes more sense. Rampardos crushes Aaron too. Yeah, you're right. Rock does beat Bug. So again, if you really care about Rampardos, you could take him to the league. So we'll put him in B for that. You can take him to the league. He's pretty cool looking, but other than that, you've got so many other options for your team that doesn't require you to waste a slot on Rampardos. 1000%. Shieldon, he's a little bit more useful than Cranidos, just because of his steel typing. You can take a lot. You won't get hit by poison. He's resistant to dark type moves, but as soon as you hit Maylene, you're pretty much toast. You're not using him. Blue says, I don't get why he can learn so much. I had no idea. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, here's the thing is like, the type variety in Gen 4 is not that great, I'm gonna be real. You're only really using like a few Pokemon from Gen 4 specifically. So it makes sense that they would learn a lot, in my opinion. Bastiodon, by the time you get him, if you even cared to invest in him, he's okay. I think his design is ugly though, so he's gonna have to be ranked in C still. He's okay. He's okay. There's better Pokemon that you could teach your Earthquake and Stone Edge to, in my opinion. He's just a wall. But he's a wall with a really, like, common weakness of water. Like, there's a lot of water types in this game. A lot. The Burmese are pretty much useless. They're a mono bug type that I guess you could use against Gardenia, but they're not helpful. Altea says his face is a wall. It is. It's a bastion. That's why he's Bastiodon. Same thing with the Wormadams. They're still gonna be in D tier. Probably put the ground type one above that one and that one there, because bug grass is just unfortunate. Blue says, wasn't steel resistant to water back then? Altea says, I don't think so. As for somebody who's been playing Pokemon Platinum, my verdict is steel is resistant to water. So here's the thing is that back then, steel was resistant to ghost, water, and dark type. You may correct me on ghost, but from what I've been experiencing, it's been resistant to water and dark. They changed that in the future generations, where dark type, because it was gaining an edge on fairy types, that they had to remove a few of the resistances that steel had, and one of the main ones that I was mad about is bite, like, because like dark against a steel type I think should have stayed, because if you bite a steel type Pokemon, like if you bite a Steelix, how is that not resisted because it's steel? Like, steel has such an awkward journey of being a type. It's so, yeah, Alteus is broken teeth. Yeah, exactly. Like, steel felt like steel in the older generations. Now steel just feels like, I don't know, a paper cut or something. I don't know. It does good against fairy. That's all it's useful for now in the current gens. I don't think they really knew what they were doing with the steel type. I'm gonna be real. They shouldn't have made steel. Blue says, I never understood why moves like bite were changed to dark type. I think dark types just needed moves in general, I'm gonna be real. But at the same time, didn't you know that the worst bite you could ever receive is a human bite because of the amount of bacteria and crazy diseases you can get from other humans. If that's not dark, I don't know what is. Again, Motham's also at the bottom too. I mean, it's not that these aren't, it's not like these are ugly designs. It's just, they just aren't useful. They just really aren't useful at all. If it's female Combi, that's a little bit different, but we're just gonna assume that the male Combi stays there. Vespiquen, I'm gonna put it a low C tier. I'm gonna be real. Alteus' hot take, I sometimes forget Motham exists. You got Dustox. Dustox is a superior Motham. You don't need to worry about it. It's fine. I love Pachirisu, but Pachirisu's stats are so awful, dude. From using a Pachirisu from Valley Windworks to Elite 4 level, Pachirisu is only good for pickup. I have used Pachirisu for Crasher Wake to get rid of his Gyarados, but her stats are so bad. And Alteus is world champion right there. Yeah, that was the meme, right? Of like a really good Pachirisu play, but its stats are bad. Its stats are really, really bad. From personal experience, it's bad. That was 2014, yeah. That was a long time ago. Gen 6? Oh, didn't know about that. Maybe it could have been Volt Switch then. Could have been Volt Switch that was on the thing. Weasel. I love Weasel. Weasel is extremely helpful by the time that you get him. Even though Gardenia is like right there at the door, he's so fast. And if you keep Sonic Boom on him, like say you got Sonic Boom is just a stupidly good move for early game for always guaranteeing 20 HP gone. And against opponents that are very like low in HP at that level, Sonic Boom still keeps him like really, really healthy in that part of the game. And then Floatzel, I think for where Floatzel gets to for his part of the game, he's really, really good. I think, okay, look, I think if we're going, like, we're gonna put Final Evos above these guys, simply because we talked about how useful she can get to the league. And then we have Floatzel's good design, and then good ability at his time. Blue says Guile's theme just auto plays in my mind anytime I hear Sonic Boom. That's funny because I hear a different theme that appears every time Sonic Boom comes up. In my head, it's from the Alexander fights in Final Fantasy XIV. Sonic Boom! And then just a bunch of rapping after that I can't rap, so. Cherubi, adorable, kind of useless though. Pretty useless. We're gonna make it a little bit more useful than Bastiodon. Or actually a little bit less because it's not evolved yet, but still. Love Cherubi, super cute, very useless. Same thing with Cherrim, but Cherrim's gonna be a little bit more useful than the majority there. Oh, we'll take off that form because I like Sunny Form. I like Sunny Form better. That's adorable. Sunny Form's adorable. Little bit more useful because you can use her against Crasher Wake at that point, but like you got to do the Cherry Tree stuff, and I don't know if you specifically want to do that. Altea says there's also an old Sonic song that involves the lyric Sonic Boom, but I'm not talking about the TV show, and it's a weird game with that title. Yeah, Sonic Boom is not like an original name for anything, but it will spark so much nostalgia in everybody's brains because that's a very like 2000s, early 2000s thing to use in songs, I feel like. Shellos, by the time you get Shellos, it's kind of useless. for Crash Awake and stuff like that. But Gastrodon, though. Gastrodon, by the time you get Gastrodon... And I'm saying this because Gastrodon is a little bit cute, but it's very useful for when you get to Volkner. A lot of people can use Gastrodon. Alteus says Gastrodon is a menace to society, and I mean battles. Actually, you know what? Gastrodon is going to go above Torterra because of its usefulness. And I might actually put Staraptor in a low S, come to think of it. We'll move Staraptor up there because I'm starting to see the big picture of all the Pokemon that we're going through. Gastrodon is really, really good. Gastrodon is absolutely underrated as a water ground type that helps take up... It helps shrink 2 slots on your team down to 1 for coverage of water and ground. Absolutely seen them go to League, the Pokemon League, but also at the same time, Damp is going to help you with any exploding shiny hunts. Just in a great ability. Fantastic. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. But really more like a 9 out of 10 because it's still not cute enough in my opinion to make it to S. Ambipom! Useless. But cute. But useless. But cute. Ambipom's... put it under Prinplup, maybe. It's actually, you know what? It needs to go in the D tier because it's really useless. It's cute, but it's not as cute as like Cherubi in my opinion. You put it in the D tier. Altea says later gens Ambipom is scary, but this is Gen 4. This is Gen 4 where Ambipom appeared. Same thing with Drifloon. Drifloon will actually help you a lot with the Gridania stage. But not, and the Fantina stage, but the thing is that Drifloon isn't like a crazy ghost type. You have access, if you're in Platinum, you have access to Duskull and Ghastly by that point. So it's one of those things that, like, he's not better than Ghastly. Ah, Scary Balloon, ah! And then we're gonna put Drifblim with Rampardos, like, right here. Probably above the usefulness at Starly's level. Because Drifblim will be helpful as a flying type too. Its typing's pretty good, but it's just like also not crazy. It's like Pelipper. It's good at doing a stockpile thing and being bulky, but not much else. Like you could have a Gengar on your team over a Drifblim, to be honest. Baniri is definitely going to be in the B tier for its cuteness, but as for its usefulness, like, and Lopunny too, it's like not... It's not crazy. I think they're very cute, but they're not all that helpful. They're there. I will shiny hunt these two, for sure, but... Why is Mega Lopunny here? That's a Gen 6 thing, so we're gonna leave that one alone. Miss Magius is one that you can really kind of only obtain in Pearl. But Miss Magius is actually really better than Drifblim if you had to pick between the two. And you can get it pretty early on in Pearl for the Fantina match. Helps you with Maylene. Altea says, burn it with fire. Fantina is a filthy cheater with that stupid ghost. Yeah, I do like Miss Magius a lot. I think actually Miss Magius does deserve an A because when you can take it to the league and it'll be as helpful as Floatzel, in my opinion. Just a little bit more helpful than Roserade. And I like its design a lot. Like, I like that design a lot. Honchkrow... Either a high A or an S for that one, because if you get super luck with your Honchkrow, and this thing is like really bulky, this thing is good. This thing is really good. Like, I like this thing. This thing is really good in Gen 4. Very, very good. Helps you with all of the Team Galactic fights. Helps you with the Ghost Psychic type in the League. Glammeow's cute, but also useless. We're gonna put Glammeow here, and then Purugly under here. I have it out for normal types. You'll see this. You'll see this as a pattern, as I have it out for normal types. Chingling is a pre-evolution to Chimecho, and Chimecho really isn't all that helpful. We're gonna put it... It's a psychic type, so it technically could help you with Maylene if you really liked it. But it's just really... We're gonna put it here. Altea says, who? Yeah, Chingling isn't really used, in my opinion. You've got Abra. You've got access to Abra and Bronzor as better psychic types. We'll get to that. Stunky's pretty good. Stunky's actually pretty good if you get him in Diamond. He's not crazy, but at least he's a dark type to face Fantina with. Skuntank can learn Flamethrower for some dumb reason, but its abilities are pretty good as a poison type. I don't think it's going to be insane, but I do think it is helpful. Maybe not up there. Maybe just a high B. Yeah, definitely like a high B. I don't know. He does pretty... His cry is a fart. Yeah. Yeah, but that's what makes it great. He shoots Flamethrower out the tip of his tail. I learned that from the animes, but I always thought it came out his booty hole. Yeah, the tip of his tail, like, the tip of his tail at the front of him is where he actually fires all the stuff. It's not actually sprayed from his booty hole. That was too vulgar for Pokemon. Altea says, oh gosh, yeah. Bronzor is stupidly helpful too. Because it's a steel psychic type that can have fireproof. So you're only dealing with ghost types as your like weakness. It's very good. Very good. Very, very good. Bronzor, for that same reason, is a very, very good tank. A good psychic tank. It looks ugly though, so I'm gonna put it under Roserade. Wanderer says A, budget Metagross. No, you're absolutely right. It is budget Metagross if Metagross focused on its psychic timing. I'm sorry for the Bonsly fans, but he doesn't appear in Platinum for me. And it's another rock type situation where rock types aren't doing too good until you get Pseudo Wudo, basically. Mime Junior's for the same reason. Mime Junior's for the exact same reason. You get Mime Junior so you can get Mr. Mime. Happini's okay. I think Happini's cuter than these guys, for sure. Its only use is its potential to become Chansey and then eventually Blissey. And then Blissey would be up here, for sure. Is Blissey on the list? No, because Blissey existed beforehand, so... Happiny is like, it's better for you to get a Happiny than it is for you to get a fossil Pokemon, in my opinion. So we'll put it there. Spiritomb... Oh no, we're missing Chatot. Chatot's good for shiny hunting and RNG manipulation and trolling your friends. So we're gonna put it up... We're gonna put it above the rock types, but not before Happiny. Oh, the kinds of things that we would use Chatot to say for is the same reason why Pokemon saw its regrets. Altea says, and you can give him a custom cry if memory serves. That's the whole reason why he's up there. Why he's even up in C is C for Chatot, C for Chatter, and C for F-bomb your friends in trade. Remember? Blue says friends. Quote unquote friends. Spiritomb is easily either a low S or a high A. It's a bulky, annoying Ghost Dark type to deal with. And at that point, it was better than Sableye. It took what Sableye wanted to be and did it better, and it's very good it's very good at what it does. Special attack wise, it could it's kind of, it's wanting, but I'll tell you this, Cynthia leads with it. Enough said. Yeah, because Blue says never used a Spiritomb. Spiritomb was difficult to get because you had to have people in the underground to visit, or a second DS to do it yourself, and like another copy of Diamond and Pearl Platinum. Altea says it walls and it cripples. I'm going to be using a Foresight Lucario against it, so we're all good, but the for other people or for kids in general, this thing was a nightmare. This thing was a nightmare to deal with, because you're like, what? Something with no weaknesses? What do I do? And then you remember Foresight existed, and then you just punch it. So it's okay. It's not fantastic, but it's a Gible. I love Gible. He's so cute. He definitely deserves an A for how cute he is. Usefulness, though, I don't know. Mini Land Shark. I think Gible should be a high B or a low A. For when you get him, he's just kind of there. He's just kind of there. He's good. He's good, don't get me wrong, but he's kind of there. He's there for his potential. Because then you have Gabite, and you're stuck with this little fricker for a very long time. And Gabite's okay. He's kind of awkward. He has Dig, so you have a ground-type stab move. And then you have Dragon Rage from however long I used Dragon Rage for, which was for a very long time. He's kind of got enough stats to take hits. Surprisingly, he takes hits better than Grottle, but only because he's got the dragon typing, so he has way more resistances than Grottle. But he's also just like, you need to evolve him into the beast in order to actually like be able to do anything in the league. If you bring a Gabite to the league, I'm sorry, you're losing. 1, you're underleveled, but 2, you're losing that fight. You need the Garchomp, and the Garchomp's S without question. We're not doing the Mega Evolution. I don't know why the Mega Evolutions are there. Altea says Garchomp can KO Legends. Yes. If we're gonna be honest, he is actually a legendary. Let's be real. Garchomp's a legendary. Enough said. I know the legendary category is saved specifically for the legends, but for the joke, for the bit, he is actually a legend. He's not a pseudo legend. He just is legend. Munchlax is adorable. Munchlax is hard to get. In fact, I need to check my honey trees before I do dinner tonight. Munchlax, I'm gonna put him up. I'm gonna put his usefulness under Luxray, but more than Luxio. Because Munchlax is actually pretty tanky and really annoying to deal with. Sorry, Riolu's my favorite. We're gonna, like, he's obviously going to be super high on the list. But Riolu is adorable. I think Riolu should be there with Gabite, or Gible, in my opinion. Because Lucario's automatically going up to S. I don't know if Lucario is as good as Infernape. I mean, he is really good as a fighting type, and then he has a bit more utility than Infernape does, but Infernape does what he does really, really good. So that's why I think Infernape is still a bit above Lucario, but Lucario is not by any means, like, less of an S rank for that. He's like up there with the big boys with how much he can do. He can do a lot. I really like the artwork for these sprites, though. Like, look at these, like, Gen 6 Mega Evolution sprites is crazy. Why are they included in this? I have no idea. We have Hippopotas. It's ugly and useless. So there it goes. I'm not even going to talk about what to use for it. Hippowdon is okay. He's a decent ground type. It's just weird. It's just really weird. He's weird to use. It's a weird choice. I don't know why anybody would do it because there's better options, to be honest. Skorupi is hard to deal with. Skorupi is hard to level. I think Skorupi would still be better. Well, no, Skorupi itself is hard to level. You get him in the marsh, he's okay. He's hard to level, but Drapion goes all the way up to S. Drapion is worth it. Drapion is worth the pain you go through for Drapion with Skorupi. He's worth it. 100%. You've got Sniper or you've got no crits. This dude is a monster. Altea says Infernape is better objectively, but Lucario is still my favorite between the two. Yeah, Infernape's the better pick because you can still get the elemental punches just like Lucario can, but Lucario can learn a lot. If you want to look at Lucario's move list in Gen 4, you'll realize how much this little fricker was favorited by everybody. By everybody. Everybody and their mom loves Lucario. And he gets like everything but the kitchen sink thrown at him for moves. So. I like Krogunk a lot, actually. Altea says also Aura Sphere. Yeah, Aura Sphere's good. It's the fighting aerial ace. Aura Sphere's great. Krogunk is a better poison type pick than Stunky. He's okay. He's okay. His stat spread is something to be desired, but he's a better pick overall than Skuntank in my opinion. If we're going to talk about like things that he can do, he's a better pick overall. Is he crazy? No. Is he there? Yeah. We're not going to talk about Carnivine. I like the fish a lot. I like this butterfly fish a lot. Is she useful? No. She's a little less useful than Shellos, honestly. She's a water type that got the bad special attack stick. Blue says I don't remember much from Gen 4 League except Cynthia, but I didn't play through it till years after Gen 4 was a thing. Like most people, yeah. Gen 4 is a hidden gem, but it's also kind of like the last of its stereotypical Pokemon kind in terms of like battling and everything. Gen 5 was where battling like amped up. Pokemon amped up in Gen 5. Lumineon is just slightly better as an evolution. But that's it. It's you have Milotic as an option in this game. Lumineon didn't stand a chance when Milotic exists. They didn't give it speed, they didn't give it nothing. They didn't give anything for you to have a reason to pick Lumineon other than you like Lumineon. And I like Lumineon, so. Mantike is a new pre-evolution to Mantine. It's cute. It's very cute. Is it useful? Kind of. I'm gonna put it with Drifloon because it's kind of useful, but not really. Altea says Lumineon is pretty, and that's it. Yep. We have Snorunt. Its typing is very sad. It is an ice type, though. Which ice types are nice. And you can still use... You can't even use it for Crasher Wake, actually, because, you know, Crasher Wake's over. You're not fighting Crasher Wake. So he's really not all that helpful. He's kind of cute. We'll put him with Vespiquen over there. You can chill over there. Abomasnow, same thing. He's just really not helpful. He's a grass type. President Abomasnow. Yeah, thanks, Obama. He's really not all that great. Weavile is up there, though. Weavile is one of the better ones that you can use. For an ice type that's speedy, or dark type that's speedy. Honestly, you could probably even put him a little bit over Staravia. Blue says Abomasnow. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the meme. Okay, so Magnezone. Let's make the... remember how I told you I was bullying steel types? Magnezone is one of those rare exceptions where they just made a Magneton even better with Magnezone. If you can get a Magnezone, this thing is your electric type. Magnezone is now your electric type, tank, electric type, like just charge beam user, like crazy special attack on this dude. Fantastic. You can't go wrong with this guy. And he actually uses the resistance as well. You're not going to be using him against a ground type, obviously. And in some cases, you can probably move Tutor Magnet Rise for him. Blue says, does Magnezone have access to Levitate? No, but you I think in that gen you had access to a Magnet Rise, but a lot of people, yeah, Alteus's Magnet Rise is a move. Yeah, so if we're talking about Magnet Rise, it's not you're not going to be using Magnet Rise because you're not going to be swapping Magnezone into a ground fight anyways. Like, the only reason you would use Magnet Rise is if you're in a double battle, like, committed team, and you have to use Magnet Rise to avoid your own Garchomp's Earthquake. That's the only reason that move exists, in my opinion, is that you're using Magnezone and Garchomp, and you just want to get out of the way. You know what I mean? Like that, you're using the steel types to fend off the ice types, and you're getting your charge beams off. That's pretty much what you're doing with Magnezone. But he's an amazing electric type, and you need that, honestly, because you can get Magneton pretty easily, and then just trade it. Even in emulators, you can get them. Do 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 do. I don't like it. I don't like it. It didn't need to exist. It didn't even need to exist in the movie. Yeah, Alteus is Baron Alberto Licky. Yep. So in the Rise of Darkrai, they featured Licky as a Pokemon for one of the antagonists' team. Like the antagonist has Licky. And he is about as useful as what he did in the movie. Yeah, he's about as useful as what he did in the movie. Rhyperior, pretty good. Pretty good. He's cool. He actually gives his evolution line something to look forward to in Gen 4. Is he fantastic, though? I honestly, you know what? He might just be down here with Toxicroak. Altea says, mine is the horn drill that will pierce the heavens. Yeah, horn drill is just really weird. Horn drill only helps you if you are very committed to over-leveling for everything. Especially with Rhyperior. You have to, want that. Tangela, actually, is really, really good. Tangela could either be A or low S, in my opinion. As a grass type, he's better for the monograss typing. For weaknesses, he won't get quad. Blue says, I don't remember what team I used to get through Platinum. Aw. It's alright. Hopefully this will give you ideas for the next time that you want to play Platinum. So give you ideas of which Pokemon to use. Maybe there will be some on this list that obviously you don't agree with the ugly list and you want to use them anyway. Every Pokemon is usable. I say as it says unusable and ugly, but you could still use them. But if you're not gonna use them for the league, that's for sure. They're not gonna help you there unless you absolutely want to meme on everybody. Electivire's pretty good. Not as helpful as, you get him pretty late game too. Altea says Electivire has so much coverage. Yeah, but by the time you get Electivire, you're only using him for I don't even know what you'd be using an electric type for at that point. And you could say the same case for Magnezone, but here's the thing is Magnezone is way faster than Electivire. He's above Rhyperior at least. That's a tough sell. Because at least Rhyperior is a ground type. And you can still use a ground type. In the league, you could still use a ground type. Electivire, I'm not so sure about that. Blue says, I don't even remember who I beat the league with in the Switch remake. Yeah, that's fair. Altea says, Electivire has Earthquake and Cross Chomp. But like, here's the thing is, I'm only doing a small debate with you about this because Rock type is still resistant to the Fire type. Yeah, Altea's the same, and I'm not saying he's an A, but you think he's better than Rhyperior. I just beg to differ. You get him so late game. You get these guys early game, and yeah, they stink, but at least you're resistant to the Fire type that you'd be using him against. You know what I mean? Like, if you use them on a team together... Altea says, actually, a thought occurs. Alright, what's the thought? We're gonna go with the trade evolutions. Altea says Rhyhorn still, or Rhyperior still has better defense, so Rhyperior wins. My bad. Yeah, that's fair. Absolutely fair. I need another sippy sip of water. It's been a lot of talking. A lot of smack talk. Togekiss is going up in the S. He's in the sky. He's a bird. Caca, caca. Togekiss is extremely good. It's just good. It's just a really broken mob. Or monster. Pokemonster. Mob. Blue says literally booting up the game just to check who I beat the Elite Four last. Yeah. That's always fun. Altea says the flinch mechanic. Or the flinch maniac. Yeah. I mean, Air Slash is pretty good, but you really need Serene Grace to kind of pull that off. You really need, like, to pull Lucky with Serene Grace. Is that his only ability in Gen 4? I can't remember. Is that his only? Togekiss. Gen 4. No, okay, so he has the chance to get Hustle. Blue says, I cheated, I had Mew. So here's the thing is, Blue, there was a Mew event. Blue says his team was Snorlax, Empoleon, Mew, Steelix, Scizor, and Garchomp. Honestly, that's kind of a unique team. I'm gonna be real. Empoleon and Steelix and Scizor, 3 steel types. Snorlax makes sense though. Snorlax is just good. Snorlax and Garchomp, we'll ignore that. But Empoleon, Steelix, and Scizor is insane. Now you got through the league with those 3. Serene Grace, the chance of... Yeah, so Hustle's damage from physical attacks is 1.5 times, but average accuracy is only 80%. Hustle is annoying. I have had so many Togetic with Hustle, and it was just the saddest thing ever. Like, so many Togekiss with Hustle. Altea says, I think you underestimate Scizor. No, I do not underestimate Scizor. You'll see that when I get to him in the tier list. Or, actually, I don't think Scizor is in the tier list because he's not. Okay, so let's talk about Scizor for a second because he is in Gen 4. Scizor is really, really good. Scizor is not something that you should sleep on in Gen 4. But I'm talking about he had 3 steel types. 3 steel types in his team. Blue says, yeah, I have no idea how I managed it. You know, as a kid, when I beat the Gen 3 Elite Four, I beat the Gen 3 Elite Four with a level 80 Swellow. Because I only leveled up Swellow. I had a level 50 something Sceptile on the team, a level 40 like a Swalot, and it was only 3 Pokemon I took to the league. The Swellow, the Sceptile, and the Swalot, and I only used Swellow. I was that kid who did not know how to level up other things. I thought Pokemon kept evolving. Like, I was like, dang, when is Swellow gonna evolve again? It's taking forever. Does he evolve at level 100? Like, dang. Man, this Steven guy's really rough. He keeps killing my bird. So my other Pokemon would level up on accident because I would use them to revive Swellow. Like, that's, like... So sometimes I look at the team comps and I go, oh, wow, that's really weird or dumb. But here's the thing is, I was even dumber than that team comp, I'm gonna be real. So, you know, anything can happen, really. Anything can happen in Pokemon, let's be real. Tier list aside, anything can happen. Yanmega's okay. He had potential. He gets Ancient Power, which is pretty cool. And he's very helpful with searching for items. So probably above Mag... Well, oh no, Magmortar's Flame Body helps with eggs, so... But yeah, Compound Eyes helps with finding items and lucky eggs, and that's about it. I hear a lot of smack talk about Leafeon. And I think the only reason all the smack talk exists is because Leafeon doesn't get any physical grass-type moves until like level 70-something with Leaf Blade. And then Leafeon's really good. So if we're going to talk about like how Leafeon has amazing bulk and stuff, it's just a bad timing all around for Leafeon. Like, they gave Leafeon a really bad hand for timing. Outside of that, I think Leafeon's fantastic. I think Leafeon's a perfectly fine choice for a grass type. Is it a better grass type than Torterra? No way. Or Roserade? No way. I think it's very much here on the A tier. Alteus' speed boost helps, but not that much. Yeah, it's like having a Ninjask with Ancient Power on your team. But worse. But worse than a Ninjask. Excuse me. Alteus is really, though, for the Yanmega take or for the Leafeon take, I don't know. Glaceon's pretty good too. I actually like Glaceon a lot. It's a good special. It's probably a better choice than Weavile in my opinion. Oh, really though, for Yanmega? Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Gliscor goes all the way up here. Is he... you know what? This is really weird of me to say. I think for Gen 4, Gliscor... For Gen 4, okay. For Gen 4, I'm gonna put Gliscor down here with Togekiss. But here's the thing is, Gliscor is used to this day and can solo teams. Gliscor can literally solo teams because of his hidden ability in Gen 6. His Poison Heal ability, ridiculous. Oh, that was a ridiculous watch. So yeah, he's an S tier. He's always been good. Mamoswine is an even better ice type than the rest of them. I say he's even better than Tangrowth, personally. Alteus says, if this was later gen, Gliscor is on par with Garchomp. Yeah, I was gonna say. But I remembered this is Gen 4. Porygon Z is stupid. Porygon Z is really stupid. Alteus says Mamoswine is scary. Yeah, Mamoswine is scary. Mamoswine deserves the A. Almost S. Almost S, but his typing kind of holds him back. But he's a good tank. He's just a very weird, niche typing tank. This thing is scary. Alteus also agreed that Porygon Z can be slept on. It's mostly because people need trade evolutions and you can't really do that anymore. Unless you have a second DS and you took care of your DSs. I have, so I plan on getting Porygon Z, but not before I breed a better nature for the Porygon Z. If you have a special attack Porygon Z, everything is toast. Like, everything is toast. Hyper Beam, like if you have the what is it? Let me pull it up on Cerebi again. Hold on. It's got adaptability. If you get a Porygon with a good special attack nature and adaptability, increases the same attack type bonus from 1.5 to 2. You get a higher stab. It's not a hidden ability. No, I don't think you understand how strong Hyper Beam Porygon was and how terrifying it was in Gen 4. Like, stupidly terrifying if you actually bred a good... Yeah, if you bred a good nature Porygon Z, even if you kept Porygon 2 and you used it as a tank with adaptability, like, Porygon is absolutely slept on for its evolutions just because they were trait evolutions. But Porygon Z is 1000% what you should be afraid of because of Hyper Beam and Giga Impact. I don't think it was Giga Impact, actually. I think it was one other, like... Tri-Beam. Tri-Beam is what I was trying to think of. Tri-Beam, yeah. You're dead. Like, you're dead going up against somebody who... Yeah, Tri-Attack. Yeah, you... If somebody knows what they're doing with a Porygon Z, you're dead. Gallade is actually stupidly good, too. He's up there with Staraptor for how common you should put Gallade in the S. Dang it. Yeah, no, he's going in S. Don't worry. Gallade I think is a little bit more useful than Staraptor because he's usually your false swipe default catcher, but no, he's up there. He's got a stupid amount of moves. He's the one that would have solved my problem if I had leveled up Gallade and got him like Shadow Claw or like, I don't know if he can learn Shadow Claw, but if I got him like good moves with Leaf Blade, if I had actually taken the time to level him up and not use my Dawnstone on on a different Pokemon, yeah, he would have been really, really good. I'm completely biased to the Ralts line. I mean, the Ralts line is good. The Ralts line is popular for a reason. The Ralts line is good. Is Gardevoir that good? Debatable, depending on the gen. But Gallade, I think it's because he was new. Although, look at that little sprite art for the Mega Gallade. That's, like, really cool. I like that. It's really cool. Probopass, he ugly and he stink. And he's not really useful. He just kind of there. Dusknoir. Dusknoir is up here with these guys for sure. He's actually really good. Is he as good as the A class? Not really. He's a weird tanky ghost type. It's the same kind of falling out that Drifblim has. So I don't know. We'll put him in B. Maybe only above Rhyperior because of you could actually use him for the league more than you would those two when you can just replace them with something else like Magnezone. Harkle Ice Core. Frostlass! I'm currently using Frostlass. I think Frostlass is useful. I don't know. It is kind of a little bit more useful than Glaceon. Definitely a little bit more useful than Empoleon. Not as useful as Bronzong, though. Like, she's okay. Going over the stats of Frostlass, honestly, I think Frostlass is not somebody you should use Ice Beam on unless you absolutely could not find a Milotic. Like, Milotic was absolutely the one that I was able to put Ice Beam on, but this is your second best choice for your Ice Beam user. For sure. She's just not as good as a glass cannon as you think. But I still use her. I still use her because I need a good fast ghost type. Speaking of good fast ghost types, we've got Rotom. Rotom on his own in Gen 4, I think he struggles a lot personally. I think he's okay. He struggles a lot for his identity. As for the other Rotoms, we're gonna put this one in D. Why would you even need this, honestly? Why would you use it? Like, why? Refrigerator Rotom, kind of in the same boat of, like, he's not gonna be your Ice Beam user. Wash and Heat Go Burr, yeah, we're getting to that one. The air one, again, also, why would you use that when you've got other flying types? Wash Rotom, though, is an amazing amazing water type that you should probably use. If you don't have any other options, you know, obviously Lantern isn't available to you in this gen just yet. That one. Fire is same reason. You need a good strong fire type. I'd say he's up here. Maybe a little bit above Mamoswine, but I don't think he deserves S personally. He's good. He's not fantastic, but he is good. Okay, so we did do all of the non-legendary Pokemon. So now it comes down to where to rank the legends in their legendary spots. Mesprit, Uxie, and Azelf are about as useless as they get. They're not even good psychic type Pokemon. They have weird stat spreads to kind of like... I think Uxie's definitely more helpful because of his special defense. No, I actually disagree with you on that. I don't think Azelf is better just because it's faster. For utility, no, I still think Uxie's better. I think its stat spread is just a little bit better for what you would use it for, which is not Trick Room plays. I'm not thinking of Trick Room. Maybe Azelf's used for Trick Room or something. I don't know. I'm thinking of current gen stuff probably for this one, so I probably shouldn't. But I'm definitely aware of how good Uxie's special defense is. Which is like... No, Uxie's defense, not special defense. You see, that changes things. It changes things. One of them was good for special defense. Dialga, the box legendary, and Palkia, the box legendary. Which one is more useful than the other? That's the question. Dialga and Palkia's stat spreads, I don't remember too fond. Like, I don't remember, like, too... What is it? Intimately, I guess. I don't know them very well. I do know that Palkia is a bit more useful. Uxie was 130 in both defenses. See, that's what I thought, is that Uxie was a better special defense. If you're really valuing special attack over that, yeah, I still think Uxie's better because you're not using Uxie to attack. You're using Uxie for messing with the opponent. And it lives long enough to mess with the opponent. Azelf's just fast enough to do something, but not as effectively as everything else. Mesprit's just meh. Azelf is a good starter, not necessarily an attacker. I guess I could see that with the speed. It's good for its role. Well, that's why they're both above Mesprit at the very least. Heatran goes all the way above those two. I still think Palkia is better than Dialga, though. I don't know what the thoughts were on that one. I don't know what the thoughts were on Palkia versus Dialga, because it's blue versus pink. I don't know which one do you like better, but I do think Palkia's water dragon typing is a bit better than Dragon Steel, in my opinion. He basically becomes... Like, he gives up his resistance to fire. Even as cool as Dialga is, he gives up his resistance to fire, and I think that's extremely dumb. Like, Steel type, I think, is just bringing him down for some dumb reason. He'll resist Giratina like nobody else. But yeah, it's just weird. But at least with Palkia, you can use its special attack in Water Stab. Regigigas. It can be useful in its previous gen, but I'm gonna still put it at the lowest of the legendaries. And yes, I know I didn't talk as much about Heatran, but that's because we all know Heatran competitively is still used to this day, even back then, so he's gonna stay up there. But Regigigas' slow start is the whole reason we have the issues that we have with him. It's just, he's completely nerfed by his ability. And then Cresselia. Cresselia's okay. Her special attack is going to be better than the legendary trio. But it's not like... It's not crazy. Like, I don't think her stat spread's good enough to be a crazy psychic type Pokemon. Manaphy and Phione, I feel like Manaphy isn't really, like, there because a lot of people missed her event. In Diamond and Pearl, you could get Manaphy for the later events, but Platinum, you had to wait until, like, the Ranger Egg and stuff. So Manaphy and Phione were kind of just non-existent for most people. Darkrai is pretty up there. Not only is he insanely cool, but his ability and his sleep skills, very, very helpful. Personal bias, and that's where he stays. That's where he stays. That's where Shaman stays. Arceus is Arceus. It's hard to rate him because it's literally the Pokemon that has not as good as a stat spread as Mewtwo, but just is stupidly broken. He's not like you can't use him in competitive. He's just he's broken for a reason. But people use him in Showdown all the time. I don't see him used as much as like Heatran, for example, but I definitely see him used more than Darkrai. So that's why I put him up there. And yeah, that's it. That is the whole Gen 4 tier list, even the legendaries. And that's why the legendaries are ranked in their own category. It's a bay! Oh, hi, honey. Tanko says, love you, honey. Sneaking in to say hi real quick. Oh, I love you, baby. I hope your day's doing okay. I'm gonna text you real quick about dinner so that way I don't miss you for the stream. So cute. He's so cute. Wait, honey. Oh, we're gonna have a lot to talk about later, honey, about the bugs. Chat remembers about the bug. I have a bug. I have a bug saved in a plastic bag. Chat remembers about the bug. There we go. Have that put up together. Okay. Well, he came in right at the end of the tier list. Like that's it. We just wrapped up the tier list. So I have a little bit of time to be able to do to be able to draw. Dude, that tier list took like literally not 3 hours. That tier list took 2 hours. I totally forgot how long tier lists can be. It's like the ultimate yapping tool. There's a tier list. I don't think our S tier Pokemon, like, I don't think there's a lot of S tier Pokemon that have like a variety. I think I talked about this though, but that Sinnoh doesn't have like a huge variety of types to work with because of the fact that just the ones that were given that. Sorry, texting real quick. Oh, welcome back, Alteus. Hubby dropped in real quick. You know me, Alteus. That's where he belongs. In the pits. He's scary. If he got an actual ranking, he probably would have been, maybe above Darkrai. But that's about as far as he goes. But no, he stays in the pits. That's where he belongs. Alteus says if we were ranking usefulness, he beats Darkrai, yeah. I think we agreed on that one. Okay, I do have the drawing program up. Let's just see if my tablet will let me. Alteus says, but Arceus and Heatran, nope. Really? You don't... Really? Oh, okay, okay, you meant like Giratina doesn't beat Heatran and Arceus. That makes a bit more sense. That makes a bit more sense. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna move my mic back over here. Yeah, Arceus has his typing camouflage he can do and all that stuff, and like he's so good that we got Silvally in Sun and Moon. Alteus says, and Heatran was VGC even in Gen 4. Yeah, I mentioned that too. Oh yeah. Trust me, I remember. I remember the pain. Was I ever a competitive Pokemon player though? No. I tried in Gen 5 and I got completely humbled by a Justified combo. Also, Shaman is top because pancakes. No, Shaman's top because I'm going to be shiny hunting him soon. I just got to beat the league. So that's why this tier list was here. For now though, I do have the art program. Alteus says, you understand why I said pancakes? Yes, I've seen all of the Pokemon movies up until Gen 5's Pokemon movies where they really dropped off. I did watch the Pokemon Black and White movie or movies, but they're the same movie. They're the same movie, but instead they have like the legendary swapped, and that was the dumbest gimmick for a movie I have ever seen. So yeah, they were extremely disappointing. Just ugh. Okay. So what today we're gonna do is gonna be a little bit of me figuring out the drawing program in general. So bear with me as I try to do this. Now I kind of discouraged myself from drawing before on Krita because I had two monitors at that time, and because of the double monitors, I wasn't able to keep a monitor right in front of me as I drew. So I was super frustrated trying to draw and get a sense of where my pen was on the program. I guess it's probably just my own dumb brain not liking it, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna get used to all, like, this is literally my first time drawing in the program in a very long time, so you're probably gonna see me mess up not only a lot, but also just, you're probably not gonna get a full drawing today out of me. Because I haven't drawn in a very long time. Especially since none of these pens either are like custom to what I would normally do. Altea says, gotta go eat lunch, love the tier list. I knew you would. I knew bro would show up for a tier list. Bro loves a good tier list. Yeah, well, go enjoy lunch. Thanks for stopping by. If If anybody needs to catch up on anything, the VOD will be on YouTube, but I do not blame people for dropping off for art. Personally, me, I like watching other people do art, not myself. Take care, buddy. Jesus loves you. Is this the skinny one? Yeah, that's a real skinny one. Okay. I know there's a way to change the brush presets, but I'm figuring that out. Yeah, digital, and then do I have to like right click on it to change the... No. We are on a paint layer, so we're on an above layer, which is fine. I'm probably going to change that to sketch. But changing the size, oh, all the way up here. Okay, perfect. How big does that change it? Okay, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'd imagine I don't have any correction on this pen. I forget what it was called, but it was on Paint Tool Sci, where it was like a line corrector. That's just dual. I think that's fill. Probably. Opacity makes sense. Let's see. Oh, is that it? Oh, okay. Okay, I think I did find it. I can change softness, precision. I wonder, hmm. Precision's at a 5, so what if I change it to a 3? How would that look? Kind of feels the same. Oh gosh, where did I find that? Oh my gosh. Oh, where did I find that? Oh, okay, right there. It was like the little dial thing. Okay. And if I change it to 1... See. You're gonna hear me control Z a lot. Then precision 5 again. Yeah, I don't think precision 5 changed too much. Did full screen mess that up on OBS? No. Okay, perfect. Minuet asks, what program is this? This is Krita. Krita. I think you recommended this to me a while ago. Okay, yeah, I probably shouldn't full screen that because then it's gonna mess it up. Minuet says, that's the best free option? Yeah. Yeah, this is all I got. This is all I got. Let's draw something pretty simple and easy. As I get used to the way that this feels. Let's draw a Pikachu. Might still have to zoom in. be pretty simple enough. Minuet says it has quite a learning curve. I can imagine. I need music or something for the background. So let me get that going. Because I don't know about you, but I can't draw without music in the background.
Sometimes
I don't know how loud that is for everybody else, but it was really loud for me.
to my knees and pray. Come, Jesus, come. Let today be the day.
I don't know how loud that is, so I'm gonna have to rely on you guys to help me with that.
Sometimes I feel
Good volume right now.
like I'm gonna,
I did change it a little bit, so just let me know.
but I'm holding on.
Might need to erase a lot.
That won't fade. Come, Jesus, come. We've been waiting so long for the day you return.
Blue says the music's fine? Okay, cool. Oh gosh, eraser, yeah? Okay, perfect. Gosh, it's been so long since I've drawn. Especially with Pokemon, I feel like Pokemon's a lot easier for me to get back into than anything else.
And we'll stand face to face. Come and lay it all down. 'Cause it might be the
And what better way to get back into drawing than drawing Pikachu? The very mascot of the game. But we might make him a little bit more expressive in the eyes.
your past will be washed.
Honestly, this is even starting to look like a female Pikachu, so I might make it a girl. Ah.
We've been waiting so long for the day you return to heal every hurt and right every
That's that one. Give her little hearts on her ears. Oh, that's terrifying. We don't want that then. Honestly, we won't worry about the pupils during the sketch. I'm still getting used to like the steadiness of this. So that's about where her tail would be.
I raise a hallelujah
Ooh, I love this song.
in the presence of my enemies. I raise a hallelujah louder than the unbelief.
Okay.
I raise a hallelujah. My weapon is
I like the Pikachu from the Gen 3 remakes where they gave her like a little heart motif on her tail, so it was a little easier to see the heart for female Pikachu than it is in Gen 4 when it was first introduced. Or I think Gen 3 had the heart tail? I'm not sure. It's been a while. Okay, let's not make the rookie comeback mistake of... Okay, that's a little thinner. So let's put this up to like 15? And do... Now, should I do lineless? Lineless is super hard for me coming back, I feel like. It's gonna be like a super small Pikachu. It's been so long, dude. Oh gosh, yeah, that's too thick for that size. It was like a 10 or 11 I was working with. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I remember I didn't like about Krita. The edges don't... Let me try paint, see if it does that. Okay, yeah, paint's perfect. Paint is exactly what I'm looking for in a brush. Yes! Okay. It's been so long. Maybe about 13? Yeah, perfect. I love my wispy lines of being able to do thin lines. Oh boy. Oh gosh, no! Line work is so difficult. Ah! Why did this one have to- Okay, that was good. The life of an artist. Oh gosh! Eevee ears going on here. I miss my course correction, man. Ah! Internal screaming. And external screaming. Okay, come on, let's get this line right. Okay, that was pretty good. I'm so happy there's pressure sensitivity. This is actually gonna be where it's difficult. I like that line there. Might just have to do some erasing. It's okay. It's okay. The drawing doesn't have to be perfect, Sam. You can do this.
Everything from the worship songs you sang at church from day one
to the new worship songs.
Just something to get my feet wet.
This is Air One Worship Always.
Too sharp. Thanks, Minuet. And Blue, don't worry. I've been called my real name enough times. Don't worry about it. I'm Seraph, otherwise known as Sam. But yeah, I've never doxed my last name, so we're all good. Okay, that's a much better line. Seraph, Sam, doesn't matter to me. Mainly because I also, before I rebranded yet again on Twitch, I was known as Strategist Sammy. How do I undo what I just did? Oh no! All my line work is gone. Oh no, where's the undo for the whole thing button? Oh no, I deleted the layer on accident. No, Minuet, the layer got deleted because Control X is apparently delete layer. So I don't know how to undo that. That is so evil. To have Control X be delete layer right next to Control Z. Oh, Control X is cut. Press Control V. Thank you! It's back! Okay, that was spooky, okay? That was really spooky. Thank you, Minuet. I needed an artist as well. It's okay, puppy. Okay, is this what I was using? It was not. Hello, paintbrush again. Is it this one? No, that's too small. What paintbrush was I using? Was it actually this one? Doesn't feel like it. Was it though? What happened to my previous pen? So many technical difficulties.
You're listening to Air One Worship Always.
Minuet says you something called paint on one, not sure that where that one went. Exactly, right? Now here's the paintbrush. The paintbrush is just fine for what I was still doing. But isn't that odd? Minuet says it looks the same, yeah. So this line's gonna still have to be over that. Oh, that's a weird brush. Oh gosh, this eraser's gonna be really rough. Oh, Minuet meant to do hits, yeah. See. It looks pretty alright so far.
Fear has to flee, shame has to leave. Before the king,
Oh gosh, it is like so obvious how much I relied on Paint Tool Sai for like course correction. I also like never grew out of like drawing super small. Okay. And then there's like the little chest fuzz. Gotta make sure her shoulder's touching there. Cause she got chonky arms.
Thanks for spending your day with Air One Worship Always.
Like little Grinch claws that the Pikachu and Pokemon have.
What fortune lies beyond the stars? Those dazzling heights too fast to climb. I got so
I think the finger there needs to be a little bit longer.
but I found heaven as love swept low. My heart beating, my soul breathing. I found my life when I laid it down. Upward falling, spirit soaring. I touched the sky.
Try not to obsess over this drawing because it's supposed to just be for... I've got like an hour and a half to finish this drawing, so I can't obsess over it. Like, I literally can't. Because if I did, we would be here forever, dude. I like the way that the sketch hand was more than the hand I'm drawing. Oop! Oh! Put my... Ah! What's going on? Oh, okay. Okay. So my pen likes to work as a mouse as well, and if I press buttons on it, it will absolutely send me somewhere I don't mean to go on my own computer. Just supposed to be a cute little Pikachu. Can't wait to get roasted on Twitter about this. Oh, I did it again! Gonna get roasted on Twitter and corrected, like, this is how Pikachu's supposed to look. Just don't post it on Twitter. Well, that's the thing is, I'm gonna post it regardless. I'm just making memes. Just making memes. And if I'm gonna be honest with you, Blue, Twitter is, like, so tame in comparison to DeviantArt, in my experience.
It's easier than ever to worship always.
Download the
I remember talking with somebody on DeviantArt who was like, how do you draw animals? And I go, well, how do you draw people? Because we could always just swap. I'd like to be able to draw people.
Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine
I might actually need to zoom out just a little bit for this line.
to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace.
There we go. Minuet says, me and any landscape artist, except I just lurk their art and stare at it for hours just trying to figure it out. Yeah. Oh yeah. What I've learned is that landscape artists definitely, I feel like they draw a lot of inspiration from Bob Ross, and just like, if they're not the super detailed landscape artists, they do like that really whimsical like painting one, like painting kind. Radio's hitting it good today with the worship music. I like it. Okay, so that's the line work right now. I'm not sure how I feel about the hands. That one's fine. Also, by the way, like, my art style is very old. Like, this is years of me having drawn that I'm able to do this. Like, I'm not just picking up an art program just like, oh, look at that, you made a Pikachu, that looks pretty good. It's one of those things where it's like, no, I've actually been drawing for a very long time. I'm just lazy. That's the difference. Minuet is like a dedicated artist, and I'm like just a hobbyist. There we go. I think I fixed that finger the way I'd like it. Minuet says, I love your art style. It's adorable and fun. Thank you. I try to keep it that way because because I am so not a fancy artist at all. I'm very much that stiff kind of comic book artist style. So like I got like bold line work. I try to do fun expressions and poses and stuff, but sometimes like what I'm still working on is making the poses look more natural and not so stiff, because my lines will be stiff too. I also like lineless a lot, but it's been a while since I've done lineless, so that's why I decided to do lines, because I was like, I don't think anybody's gonna understand what I'm doing unless I do lines.
Air One Worship always.
Oh gosh, yeah, this is gonna be the rough one.
It's not just a story. It's a living,
We're finishing the line work at a good time because Puppy's starting to get fussy.
his home in glory. For the world he loved, for the world that he
The tail is such an awkward shape, even in the games, for having like that really stiff tail. Like, it's just really stiff lines for it to suddenly have curves like that. So I tried to let the shape expand a little bit more than how stiff the tail is. Especially since it's supposed to look like a heart. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a recognizable female Pikachu. I think it'll work. Should be easy to color because the lines are so thick too. Now we just gotta do the face, which is the hardest part. I don't think I'm gonna line art the cheeks though. I think we're gonna just color those. I almost want to just do the 3 mouth like that, but I know better. Ew. No, we're doing the cartoon mouth. Probably gonna like shade in the way that the mouth looks for that.
The worship soundtrack of your life.
Air One, worship always.
I don't know, that line just... Okay, that's a bit better. Oh boy. That line was almost perfect. The shape I'm going for is kind of odd too. Kind of like that. Let's see. Oh no, nothing was as good as that first line. Okay, what I need to ah! Too far. Too far.
And I will believe for greater things. There's no power like the power of Jesus. So let faith arise. Let all agree. There's no power like the power of Jesus. I will believe. Come on.
Blue says I have returned with food. Nice. The line art is, I think, just about done. She looks a bit awkward, but for being out of the game for a really long time, I think this is a pretty good comeback when it comes to drawing. So the reason why I'm even picking up drawing again is because I'm going to be drawing the Pokemon that I'm going to be playing with when I finally do streaming live. Like, I want to be involving everybody with the Pokemon characters that I make from the series. Muscle memory is a blessing. If you can keep it. If you can keep the muscle memory, it is indeed a blessing. Yeah, so that's why I started out with the Pikachu, because it's the first one I can remember off the top of my head. Just adding little details here and there to make her feel a little bit more believable in her shape. Ah.
This is Air One.
Worship always.
Yeah, I think that line's just a little too thin over there. Ah! Where's the bar? I can't... Okay, there's the bar.
How deep the Father's love for us, how vast beyond all measure, that He should give His only Son and make a wretch His treasure. How great the pain of searing loss, the Father turns His face
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, as you can see with the full canvas, it's kind of a small drawing, but that's okay. We're not going for anything too fancy. Now, if I remember, Pikachu has like a filled void eye of brown.
Behold the man upon his cross,
But
my sin
let's see,
upon his shoulder.
it's like a dark brown.
Ashamed, I hear my mocking voice call out among the scoffers.
Like this.
It was my sin that held him there until it was accomplished. His
Yeah, kind of like that. Looks terrifying at the moment, but I promise there's a purpose, I promise. There's purpose, I promise, to the creepy eyes. Okay, so let's define the pupil. We'll put it on what we call like
in Jesus Christ, His death and resurrection. Why should I gain from His reward? I cannot give an
Oh, that's massive. Okay, we're not gonna do that. That's better. Okay. I'm just gonna use this.
His wounds have paid my ransom.
See, that's what Pikachu's eyes are like. They have white pupils. It's terrifying. How do I grab the color again? Oh gosh, it's been so long since I've done color grab on anything. Okay, there. I think it's that tool. Okay, perfect.
Your favorite worship songs from yesterday, today, always.
Air One. Worship always.
Yeah, Pikachu's eyes are scary, I'm gonna be real. Let's see. I think it's because Pikachu's pupils are round and not oval, and I totally made like oval eyes. But that's okay. There's a reason to my madness, okay? I promise, there's a reason to my madness. What? What layer is that on? Okay, am I on the right layer again? Okay, it's just so light it looks like that, okay. Can I use the airbrush then? Ooh! Sorry about that. Probably dropped my phone. Yeah, I was right. Okay, so he has like a second pupil inside that I was remembering. But it's shaped by like the color. It just looks weird with the eye shape. Because I made the eye shape like there would be white in the pupil. I think we're gonna leave it like that though. Then do the rest of that coloring there. barely noticeable, but will be more noticeable when the whole mouse is yellow. I almost said rat, but I don't have enough disdain in my body for Pikachu for that. Ooh, I like that pale yellow. Maybe one with a little bit more orange. Ooh, that'd be cute. I like peachy colors. Yeah. A nice warm yellow for Pikachu. Maybe with a little more saturation? Too much? Too banana? Yeah, almost like the warmer color better. We're gonna go back to the warmer color. The mustard.
You know it's Air One worship always.
When the music
Don't worry, this is just so I can,
all is stripped away, and I simply come.
did it on the wrong layer too. Okay, it wasn't like the worst layer I could put it on. We're gonna put it under, put that layer under the eyes.
That will bless
There we go.
your heart. I'll bring
Get this Pikachu semi-colored.
a song, for a song in itself is not what you have required. You search much deeper within.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish coloring, guys.
You're looking into my
I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish coloring. Rusty's very restless.
I'm coming back to the heart.
I think you're just gonna see a very shabbily colored Pikachu.
It's all about you, Jesus. I'm sorry, Lord, for the thing I've made it. When it's all
But I think that's the color I want to go for.
it's all
Minuet says, that's alright. It's a good warm-up for sure. I do believe so as well. Let me see. Does
king of endless worth. No one could express how much you deserve.
okay, perfect. That doesn't show up on stream.
We can pour
Pika practice.
every single
And we're gonna save it where recordings normally go.
for a song in itself is not what you
Okay, guys. Sorry to end the stream like a half an hour early, but he's gotta go potty. He has upended the whole carpet behind me. You got the whole. He's sitting on his bum on the rug. I gotta take a picture of this if I can. Hold on. Yeah. No, don't move. Yeah, he's so bad. He always dodges the camera. He's very good at doing that. Okay. But yeah, thank you for stopping by for the stream and seeing the creepy Pikachu, because she doesn't have all of her colors yet and her eyes are very terrifying, so this is what you're gonna have to see going away today. But thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the Bible study and the Pokemon chats. Always remember that Jesus loves you and he has a plan for your life. I can't wait to see you guys next stream. Bye! Bye! Look at this, the camera.